Chapter 922. The Dragon Crown Prince's expression finally changed. He only had 2 dragon guards left. While the Dragon Crown Prince and Lin Chen were fighting, Zhen Dijiu and Jundok Shui used ultimate restoration, expending another 4 points of high-grade rune energy to cast the slow rune twice. Following that, he used Heavenly Sword Fury and Moon Mirror's Edict twice in a row, and even triggered Lacerate. Even though the second golden armored dragon guard was on guard, its defense was still broken and it died. Ultimate restoration is so useful after leveling up. If it was before, my body wouldn't be able to fight anymore, and my doppelganger would have been broken. I would have had to cast the illusion rune again. Lin Chen glanced at the 6 points of intermediate talent, but he didn't feel any heartache. But now it can even heal my injured body. The side effects of using Sword Fury can also be healed by ultimate restoration. Sword Fury was a furious strike. After the furious strike, there would be a gap. It couldn't be used continuously just because one had battle aura. However, ultimate restoration could restore this gap, allowing Lin Chen to use it continuously. Lin Chen skillfully opened the peach garden plant pouch and put the bodies of the 2 golden armored dragon guards into it. This was a good treasure. It was the body of a super dragon of the metal element. Good, very good. Lin Chen, you forced this crown prince. I didn't expect a mortal to have such ability. This crown prince has underestimated you. The Dragon Crown Prince's eyes were overflowing with hostility. With a command, the last 2 dragon guards returned to his side. Lin Chen and the others gathered. Everyone in Class 66 was injured, but fortunately, it wasn't too serious. Lin Chen waved his hand, and the Grade 8 Sacred Spear embryo returned to his palm. His arms, muscles, and bones were broken, so he still needed some time before he could fight. Many spectators held their breath. The direction of this battle, what kind of result would it have from the current situation? It seemed to be in the Black Horse Club's favor. But, from the Black Horse Club, only Zhen Dijiu, Jundok Shui, and Lin Chen had the ability to break through the defenses of the Golden Dragon Guards, form the Heavenly Dipper Golden Array and pour its strength into my body. The Dragon Crown Prince's command caused the 2 dragon guards' complexions to change. You can't do that, Crown Prince. Your bloodline grade will be seriously affected. It might even drop. That's right. This concerns your future. Your Highness, please reconsider. The Dragon Guard hurriedly stopped him. The elders of the clan had warned him that this formation should only be used in a life-and-death situation. Once a person's status, the Dragon Crown Prince's, the Crown Prince's will, the Dragon Race's honor. The Crown Prince's eyes glanced in the air. Crown Prince's direction. As long as I can obtain the Divine Dragon Blood Jade, I can take back everything I've lost. Although this Crown Prince still has 2 cards up my sleeve, I might not be able to kill all of them. If I don't kill those 3 and one of you dies, then there really won't be a chance to make a comeback. The Dragon Crown Prince roared out, "What are you waiting for? Are my words of no use?" The 2 golden dragon guards clenched their teeth. They turned into 2 golden dragons that circled in the air, forming a hexagonal array. The aura of dragons surged. The 2 dragons breathed out clouds and mist, entering the Dragon Crown Prince's body like 10,000 golden dragons. Bang! The Dragon Crown Prince's dragon eyes flashed with a golden light. The golden light was like a rainbow that pierced through the heavens. His dragon scales shined with a new light, slowly extending. His dragon body began to grow to 120 feet, then to 1,050 feet. In less than a breath of time, the Dragon Crown Prince's dragon body nearly doubled in size. His dragon scales were pure gold and his dragon claws shined with a golden light. Roar! A dragon roar that shook the highest heavens, shook by Juanhao and the others, causing their eardrums to hurt and their heads to spin. Ripples appeared in the air. The Dragon Crown Prince's dragon force rose to a whole new level. 85 million dragon force points. His bloodline is being activated to a state that surpasses the limit. After this, he will definitely suffer great damage. The strength of the two golden dragons has been forcefully absorbed into his body. Lin Chen took the opportunity to eat a Longqingguo. His broken bones began to reconnect. His expression was somewhat solemn. If he had used this move at the beginning, his strength would have been even more terrifying. But I'm afraid he didn't expect me to force him to this extent. The Dragon Crown Prince's Dragon Force points seemed to have increased by only a few million, but this was a leap in realm. The Dragon Crown Prince now possessed the combat strength of a 5th Tribulation Battle Emperor. Moreover, due to the special nature of his dragon body, it was difficult for an ordinary 5th Tribulation Battle Emperor to break through his dragon scales if there was no way to counter him. With Lin Chen's current body refining realm and battle chi cultivation, he wasn't even qualified to scratch the Dragon Crown Prince's itch. All of you, step back. Lin Chen waved his hand and asked everyone to step back. Class 66 didn't have the ability to participate in this kind of battle for the time being. Bloodline is the foundation of a fierce beast. I didn't expect him to fight to this extent. It's time for me to fight to the death. Lin Chen's eyes were filled with ferocity. Lin Chen, I've paid the price. Now it's your turn to die. The Dragon Crown Prince's golden dragon soared into the sky. With a golden dragon swings its tail, countless golden rays shot out and shrouded the surroundings. It blocked all the escape routes of Lin Chen and the others and even delayed their movements. The Dragon Crown Prince opened his mouth and condensed his dragon breath. Golden rays gathered around his dragon teeth. The destructive aura overflowing from his mouth made all the 5th Tribulation Battle Emperors solemn. Lin Chen suddenly shouted, "Dragon Crown Prince, you're not the only one who is fighting to the death." At this moment, Shintoku Sho, Shintoku Nobunaga and Shintoku Nobunaga put away the weapons in their hands and grasped the handles of the flying daggers at their waists. Lin Chen put away his red spear. 9 types of heavenly tribulation light flashed in his palm and slowly condensed. Lan Ruoshue's beautiful eyes trembled when she saw this scene. Could it be roar? The dragon's roar shook the heavens and the earth. The Dragon Crown Prince spat out golden rays from his mouth and angrily swept toward Lin Chen and the others. Heaven Burial Instant Explosion Dragon Breath. The golden rays condensed into a beam of light that overflowed with the power to destroy the world. As it shot out, thousands of golden rays disappeared from the beam of light. The dragon shadow was like the ruins of the dragon civilization that had suddenly appeared in the arena. The beautiful eyes of the palace master of the Ice Heart Palace flickered with nervousness. She was ready to tear the void and break into the arena at any time. Dragon Crown Prince, you're not the only one who is fighting to the death. Lin Chen shouted and the 3 doppelgangers pulled out their hands from their waist. Host activated Level 6 Recharge, Level 5 Penetration, and Level 5 Heavenly Invisibility Rune. Consumed 4 points of high-grade rune energy. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Dazzling rays of light flashed continuously like snowflakes on a flat surface. They cut through the air and swept up extremely sharp saber winds, slashing toward the golden beam of light. Vanishing shadow flying daggers, ultimate quadruple combo. Some of the saints gasped. The Black Horse Club had revealed another trump card, the 4th Orange Grade Combat Skill. The 4th style of the flying dagger was comparable to an Orange Grade Combat Skill. 12 flying daggers shot out at the same time. This was one of Lin Chen's killer moves. The Vanishing Shadow Flying Dagger was to gather all the flying daggers together to explode at its strongest state. What a powerful attack! It's slightly close to a 5th Calamity Combat Emperor. No, the difference is too big. Even with the Orange Grade Saber Art and Sword skill, the Black Horse Club is going to lose. At least 2 more people will die. They've exhausted everything by using that flying dagger technique. The saints saw through the situation at a glance. In the next moment, a sudden change occurred. Clang! The sound of a saber burst forth like a dragon. The 12 rays of light flashed and split into 5, instantly turning into dozens of rays of light. The power was not reduced at all. At that moment, the arena was like a meteor dancing in the sky. The scene was extremely gorgeous. The Dragon Crown Prince was dumbfounded. The saint's expressions suddenly changed. The audience almost thought that they were hallucinating. 60 Flying Daggers. Chapter 9:23. Everyone was shocked. No one wasn't shocked, no one wasn't horrified. Even the sages thought that the Black Horse Club had been forced into a dead end by the Dragon Emperor, and that their strongest attacks were no match for the Dragon Emperor. However, this heaven-defying technique of 1 turn into 5 had truly frightened everyone. That's right, this wasn't just shocking. Instead, it was the true meaning of shock, terror. Everyone was shocked. They had never seen such a heaven-defying technique that could split the same combat skill into 5 without any reduction in power. At least, no one present, including the sages, had ever heard of such a technique in the world. However, before the first wave subsided, another wave arose. The Black Horse Club seemed to always be the most special existence, and they would never stop until they were shocked. Zhendiju and Jundok Shui drew their swords and slashed diagonally and vertically. Sword Fury Sky. Moon Mirror Order God. Jundok Shui stepped into the sky, and Zhendiju stood on the ground. The two of them attacked at the same time. Boom! The sword flashed, and it traveled thousands of miles. Moonlight shone on the entire arena, as if it was going to cover the dazzling golden light. Only the saints could see clearly that the moonlight slash that was flashing at an extremely fast speed had split into 5 again. The billowing anger that divided heaven and earth gathered into one sword, and it suddenly slashed vertically. The orange sword aura that was hundreds of feet long stirred up the wind and clouds and split into 5. Host has activated Orange Grade Talent, Instant Light Split Shadow. All attacks are split into 5, and 8 intermediate talent points are consumed. The moment the system screen popped up, one of the sages squeezed out a sentence from between his teeth. Damn it, is he still human? The flying swords danced wildly, and the sword aura was like a rainbow, piercing through the sky. The sword aura turned into a moon, illuminating heaven and earth. The moment the two forces collided, the sparks and energy explosion seemed to have created a new history. Everyone was stunned. It was like this every time. Just when everyone thought that the Black Horse Club had shown its true strength, they found out again and again that it was just the tip of the iceberg. The real tip of the iceberg. So what if they had 4 orange-grade combat skills? They were nothing compared to this godly technique of 1 into 5. The blade aura cut through the golden light pillar, the sword aura shattered countless golden dragon phantoms, and the moonlight destroyed countless dragon breaths. However, it wasn't over yet. The pupils of the saints trembled. In the extremely dazzling explosion, there were 5 rays of light that tore through the energy storm. The beam of light pierced through the air, seemingly flickering with 9 colors as it crashed into the Dragon Crown Prince's massive dragon body. 5 9-colored light pillars suddenly bloomed between heaven and earth. The host has activated the passive talent, Tear. The attack has torn the target's defense. The host has perfectly triggered the passive talent, Assault. Power increase, 300%. The 9-colored pillar of light connected the heavens and the earth. As it rotated and twisted, it overflowed with an aura that could destroy everything in its path. 5 9-colored pillars of light revolved around the Dragon Crown Prince's body, gradually devouring him. The dragon scale defense that he was so proud of, the noble dragon body that he thought was extraordinary, the trump card that he had kept until the very end, all of it quietly disappeared as the 5 9-colored pillars of light spun and dispersed. What kind of joke is this? This crown prince was actually. When time returned to silence, Only the people from the Black Horse Club and the 3 fallen dragon bodies stood in the field. Lin Chun supported himself with one hand on the ground, sweating profusely and panting heavily. His face was as pale as paper. That wave of attack just now had used up all of his skills. All of his trump cards and strength had been used. The heavenly invisibility rune had eliminated the aura of the 9 Tribulations star, allowing the 9 Tribulations star to approach the Dragon Crown Prince's body at the most suitable time when many attacks broke through the sky burial dragon breath. Lin Chen's current elemental attribute value was not what it used to be. Compared to the last time he used the 9 Tribulations star, the value alone was hundreds of times higher. It was also enhanced by the instant light split shadows talent. More importantly, this attack had also triggered the Tear talent. If the Dragon Crown Prince's defense and many life-saving trump cards had not been torn apart, perhaps he might not have died. At most, he would have been seriously injured. Unfortunately, with the Tear talent, he could only use his dragon body to resist the 5-9 Tribulations star. In the end, he could only die. Without a doubt, this was definitely Lin Chen's strongest attack at this stage. Moreover, it had a certain luck attribute to be able to produce the highest destructive power. For a 5th Tribulation Battle Emperor, Lin Chen's attack could be considered as a small achievement. But for a slightly stronger 5th Tribulation Battle Emperor, this was definitely not considered a strong attack. Unless Lin Chen could guarantee that he would trigger the Tear talent every time. It's not enough. I still need to become stronger. The Dragon Crown Prince's strength is only equivalent to a genius ranked around 60,000 on the genius ranking. A genius ranked around 60,000 has already made me use all my strength. This is my current limit. Lin Chen gritted his teeth. This kind of attack was still no threat in front of a saint. Breaking through to the 9th Tribulation Battle Emperor was imminent. At this moment, the whole place was so silent that even the sound of a pin dropping could be heard. This scene was too strange. No, it should be said that the Black Horse Club's actions had exceeded the knowledge and understanding of everyone present. When everyone thought that they had seen through the Black Horse Club, they revealed their abilities again and again, subverting everyone's understanding. At first, everyone only thought of them as another extreme heaven pavilion. But they did not expect that from the appearance of the 2 spiritual plants of fortune at the beginning, to the Jundok Shui killing the son of a 4th-grade chamber of commerce with a single sword strike, to the forging of an 8th-grade artifact embryo, and to the control of 99 pill furnaces to refine an 8th-grade saint pill. Not only that, but they also revealed the strength of a quasi-saint alchemist, the 4 orange-grade battle skills, the gorgeous 9-colored light beam, the Dragon Crown Prince's death, and the divine skill that made everyone feel fear. It was too monstrous. Every achievement that the Black Horse Club had achieved in the 4-way conference was enough to shake the whole world. However, these achievements were all concentrated in the hands of a few young people, especially this group of young people who had an almost heaven-defying leader. At this moment, Qin Shaotian, who was seriously injured and had his lower body bandaged, was lying in the audience seat, staring at the back of the young man in a daze. No wonder Qianyun is so in love with him. A bitter smile appeared on Qin Shaotian's face. He had been completely defeated, or perhaps, from the beginning to the end, just like what Lin Chen said. He did not see him as an opponent at all. In a certain sky city in the 36 regions, buzz. A golden dragon light exploded from above the giant city, and a cold and angry voice shook the heavens and earth. Chi'er is dead? Didn't he go to carry out the mission of the divine dragonblood jade? Could it be those saints? They dare to attack Chi'er? No. The heavenly gold meteor fall that I left for him didn't trigger, which proves that he didn't die from the power of the saint origin. Chi'er brought the golden armor dragon guards. Among the 5th Calamity Combat Emperors, who can do anything to him. Pass down the order, investigate all the information about the 4-way conference for me as soon as possible. In the void of the venue, Saint Azure took a deep breath, forcefully pressed down his trembling hand, and announced loudly, Team Martial Competition Champion, Black Horse Club. Obtained points, 50,000 points. Exclusive reward, you can choose a treasure ranked in the top 5 to top 10 in the conference for free. The audience couldn't calm down for a long time. After the results were announced, cheers sounded one after another. Everyone knew that after today, a brand new legendary force would rise in Xuanyu and the mysterious domain. But the Saints knew even more clearly that what came next was the highlight. Chapter 924. What surprised the referees was that Shintoku Sho and the other two, who had used up all their energy, had recovered to their peak state in the blink of an eye. The referees looked as if they had seen a ghost when they saw how calm and energetic the three of them were. Were they still human? They had used orange-grade combat techniques so many times, not to mention the ultimate flying dagger technique at the end. How did they recover to their peak state so quickly? Lin Chen bit off another long Qingguo, and his internal injuries quickly healed with ultimate restoration. He waved his hand and stored the 3 dragon corpses, allowing the Dragon Emperor to activate the Myriad Devour ability in the Peach Garden plant pouch. The Dragon Emperor swallowed the ferocious beast cores first before refining the dragon's flesh and blood. The 6 millionth dragon meridian began to stir slightly, glowing brightly as if it was about to break through. Lin Chen kept his flying daggers, and his clone picked up the dozens of attribute light balls dropped by the Dragon Prince and the golden-armored dragon guards. He also quietly took the Dragon Prince's storage ring. I wonder what treasures are in this Dragon Prince's storage ring. Host has received 2 intermediate talent points, 3 advanced metal elemental energy, 2 advanced rune energy, 2,999 advanced health points, 2,800 advanced health points, 4,050 advanced health points. The high-quality metal elemental attributes dropped by the Dragon Prince and the golden-armored dragon guards meant that Lin Chen had received 24 advanced metal elemental energy from this battle. His metal tribulation combat body was even sturdier than before. Boom! Lin Chen's body glowed with strong vitality energy, and his pure strength soared to 40 million dragon power points. If it was before, I would have needed to accumulate some more strength before I could break through. Lin Chen clenched his fists with an intoxicated expression. Previously, he only had 99 million dragon power points and stopped at the second tribulation combat body refinement stage. He had only broken through to 50 million dragon power points by relying on the ultimate moment. Now that Lin Chen had gone through so many battles, he had obtained a large amount of high-grade blood chi attribute. In addition, he had eaten many clear dragon fruit. The bottleneck of Lin Chen's body refinement had been loosened by the accumulation of energy from the clear dragon fruit. He had finally advanced. With the support of Long Qingguo, my body refining cultivation will be successful. It has no resistance to drugs and can be used forever. It's also a holy treasure for healing injuries. It's really King Supreme Treasure. No wonder the 3 sages said that the Long Qingshu is worth as much as 2 ordinary low-grade spiritual plants of destiny. Lin Chen was so excited that he poured the rest of the Tiani holy water onto the roots of the Long Qingshu. The dazzling Long Qing's branches and leaves flourished, beginning a new round of rapid growth. During the competition, the Long Qingshu had grown to a height of 1,000 meters, winding like a dragon. Its branches were like a giant dragon, and there were nearly 200 Long Qingguo on its body. These were all thanks to the Tiani holy water. Otherwise, he would have to wait for 1,000 years of accumulation. After absorbing the Tiani holy water this time, he might truly step into the peak period, and the speed of producing Long Qingguo would be more than twice as fast. This competition has come to a successful end. After this, there will be a sales event and banquet jointly organized by us organizers. The competition will end in 3 days. The points held by the various factions can be saved for the next competition. Saint Azure gave the final speech of the competition. The eyes of many sages turned intent. Lin Chen exhaled. There were still 3 days. The various sages would besiege the Black Horse Club in 3 days. Senior Saint Azure, can my exclusive reward for the team martial competition be exchanged for that divine dragon blood jade? Lin Chen transmitted his voice to Saint Azure without batting an eyelid. The latter was startled. Are you sure you want this item? If this item isn't a fated person, it's equivalent to having a useless rock in your hands. There are still many treasures in the competition's top 10 that can improve you greatly. Are you sure? Haha, I'm sure of the exchange. You also saw it. My Black Horse Club's Zhen Depi possesses the dragon race bloodline. Maybe he has luck with this blood jade. I'm a person who likes to gamble occasionally. Lin Chen laughed. Saint Azure gave this young man a deep glance. He stood in the light and shadow but still appeared very mysterious. Sages were not so easy to fool. Although this boy was young, Saint Azure absolutely did not think that he was that kind of person who gambled on luck. Powerhouses would absolutely understand the importance of destiny, but would never rely on destiny. Little fellow, this old man looks forward to your future accomplishments. Saint Azure transmitted his voice to Lin Chen meaningfully and passed him a low-level storage ring. Lin Chen rubbed his nose. Indeed, sages were not so easy to fool. The jade box inside contained a blood crystal. It was precisely the divine dragon blood jade. Why was Lin Chen obsessed with this divine dragon blood jade? Because he didn't believe that he would be some *T fated person at all. His system had a bloodline function. The new version update expanded the bloodline list for him. Now Lin Chen was compatible with 6 bloodlines, but he actually only had 4 bloodline powers. Purple Golden Pupil Bloodline, True Flame Purple Phoenix Bloodline, Heavenly Winged Dragon, and Wanzai Profound Azure Dragon. He could still absorb 2 more bloodlines. As long as he held this divine dragon blood jade in his hand, he would find the dragon race with the same bloodline as this blood jade, and then try to obtain the bloodline attribute of that race. He, Lin Chen, would be able to inherit this divine dragon blood jade's inheritance logically. Fated person? Relying on fate to become stronger, that was **T. From the beginning to the end, Lin Chen had relied on the fate that he had created with his own fists. He didn't believe in miracles that suddenly appeared in the world. He believed in the inevitability caused by repeated tempering. And these 50,000 points I want to exchange for 10 odd crystal fragment. Senior, after you help me exchange, please send them to my resting area. Thank you, Senior. Lin Chen handed over his sect token and handed it to Saint Azure. The latter was stunned and immediately shook his head and laughed. Okay, no problem. The first treasure of the convention was a half-orange grade combat skill. If Lin Chen could obtain it, he would be able to unleash the power of the orange-grade combat skill. But what Lin Chen lacked the most now was the means to fight against a saint, not a half-orange-grade cultivation technique. He chose to exchange all of them for odd crystal fragments. Lin Chen stepped down and everyone surrounded him. Big brother! Class monitor! Seeing everyone's worry, Lin Chen said seriously, next is my own matter. The matter of a saint is not something you can interfere with. Don't worry, I will be fine. Instead, you guys have to keep a distance from me. Ling Yueqi held Lin Chen's hand tightly, her moon-like eyes flowing with blue waves. If anything happens to you, I will fight Dark Pavilion to the death. Bai Juanhao and Ying Liang's expressions were fierce. Us too. If anything happens to the class leader, we'll fight those guys to the death even if we have to risk our lives. Big brother Lin, don't fight them head-on. Shangguan Bihan gritted her teeth. Yan Qianyun didn't say anything and quietly stared at Lin Chen. Okay, stop talking nonsense. Maybe I will be able to escape. Lin Chen smiled and went straight back to the resting area. The dark pavilion saints stared in the direction Lin Chen left and transmitted their battle chi to the others. Seal the 2 space passages outside Wanchur Square. If you can close them, then close them. If you can't, then guard them. Don't give this kid a chance to escape. Dark Pavilion Old Ancestor laughed sinisterly. This old man will watch him personally. He can't escape. 15 minutes later, the 10-odd crystal fragments that Lin Chen exchanged for were delivered. He activated the system to break them all down and added 5 more high-level blue-rank sure-kill skills. Then, it's time to build my coin-adorned battlesuit. Lin Chen took out several materials from his storage ring, his face filled with excitement. Chapter 925. The auction after the convention was extremely lively, but more people chose to stay and watch the show. The forces of the Hidden Pavilion vs. the Black Horse Club. If it was in the past, countless people would not believe that a group of saints was going to encircle a young war emperor. It was simply a fantasy. But those who had seen the team martial arts competition would not think that it was a fantasy. They would even think that it was natural, because the people of the Black Horse Club were a group of monsters. No one could imagine how much of a threat they would pose in the future. 3 days passed in a flash. The 4-way convention had come to an end. Many saints began to leave, but some stayed to watch the show. During these 3 days, a strange piece of news spread from the mystic realm. The Qin sisters, Qin Miao and Qin Juyan, had mysteriously disappeared. According to the saints of the Qin family, the sisters seemed to have met with an accident and were suspected to have been kidnapped by the saint. They were offering a reward of 1 million silver saint origin coins and various techniques as a reward for any clues. When this news came out, many people were amazed. But the attention of the 4-way convention was still on the main show. Most people stayed at the 10,000 Days Square. The senses of countless experts were locked onto Lin Chen's resting area. The faintly discernible gazes in the sky were also focused on the same area. The convention is about to end. What is he going to do? According to the rules, saints can't make a move in the 10,000 Days Square, but it's not certain if they leave the square. I guess the expert behind the Black Horse Club is going to appear. Let's wait and watch the show. There were many discussions and everyone was watching. Countless gazes covered by battle chi were focused on the resting area. The most confused were the saints who were watching from the sidelines. Their senses were extraordinary. There was no sign of a saint descending within a radius of 10,000 miles. Could it be that the expert behind the Black Horse Club still did not plan to appear at this time? Or could it be that the Black Horse Club did not have any backing or expert? Relying on Lin Chen and a group of young people, how could they compete with the saints? In the secret chamber. There's not much time left. Little guy, you have to perform well, Lin Chen smiled and said to Little Shadow as he fed the pill. Above Little Dark Shadow's head, 3 words were condensed. No problem. Lin Chen's gaze was somewhat deep as he exhaled. Right now, there aren't many people who are hostile to me. I don't know if I can fulfill the conditions for the Godslayer to activate. I can't cause trouble at the conference of the 4 sides, but under the siege of 16 saints, I don't even have the chance to make an enemy. I have to make a lot of preparations. I still have to place my clone in the peach blossom plant pouch to refine silver saint origin coins for me to break through to the next level. This is really a battle of life or death. Creak. The door was pushed open, and at this moment, a figure walked out of the resting area. It was Lin Chen. Surprisingly, he walked from the resting area to the south gate of the square with ease, as if he had no pressure at all. What is he doing? How could he run out without any precautions? No matter what, we have to cover him. The Black Horse Club is gone, and only Lin Chen is left? Could it be that he's hiding in his destiny plant pouch? The palace master of Ice Heart Palace and the others had solemn expressions. Then, they stepped into the air and prepared to leave. Rumble! A terrifying aura descended from the sky. Ji family's old ancestor was the first to arrive. He stepped into the air, and his boundless saint aura pressed down on Lin Chen like a giant transparent hand. Little bastard, today I'll make you pay with your life for the two great geniuses of my Ji family. Old ancestor Ji slapped his palm, and a giant hand of saint light that was more than 10 acres in size grabbed at Lin Chen. Countless battle emperors gasped. This was an attack that used saint origin energy. Old ancestor Ji was serious. He was treating Lin Chen as an opponent of the same level. Pung! A sword light slashed horizontally. The middle-aged man stepped into the air, holding a 3-foot-long sword in his hand, and smiled indifferently. Old ancestor Ji, I can't let you touch this little guy. Old ancestor Ji's expression changed slightly. Cloud Wilderness 4th Pavilion Master? Do you want to interfere in this matter too? What responded to old ancestor Ji was a saint light sword chi that swept across the sky and split open the clouds. I, Lin Chen, will remember the good intentions of the Cloud Wilderness building. Lin Chen laughed heartily. Rumble! A dark light flashed, and 2 more saints attacked. They were also experts from the hidden pavilion. Clang! The sect master of White Dragon Gate and the beautiful elder of Thousand Charm Palace blocked them. Really, that's why I say young people are troublesome. Remember to compensate us. The beautiful elder of Thousand Charm Palace winked at Lin Chen. He whistled and laughed. Of course. Damn it, you want to interfere with us too? Thousand Charm Palace, White Dragon Gate, you're courting death. The 2 saints of Hidden Pavilion laughed sinisterly. Their figures flashed as they shuttled through the void. In an instant 2 great battles broke out in the sky. They're fighting. So powerful, this is a battle between saints. Many battle emperors clicked their tongues, but the neutral saints had solemn expressions. It wasn't over yet. This time, the Hidden Pavilion had sent out all their peak experts. Those who were on their side now were only saints from the various third-rank sections. It was impossible for them to completely stop the Hidden Pavilion. Lin Chen soared into the sky, and his cold voice suddenly echoed in the sky. Lin Chen, it's time to return my grandson's life. Arrogant Junior, you will pay for the life of my son, Liao Yuan Mo. The red-browed ancestor and the green-robed saint attacked at the same time. They were 2 of the 4 saints who had besieged Lin Chen at the Ice Heart Palace. 2 Saint Essence fire dragons roared as a beam of azure light shot through the void and descended, heading straight for Lin Chen. Frost rose everywhere, and goose feather-like snow fell from the sky. Cold air covered the sky, and an ice mirror 100 feet long appeared. Bang bang! The fire dragons couldn't penetrate the defense of the ice mirror, and they exploded and extinguished. The ice mirror blocked the attacks of the 2 saints. The palace master and the gray-robed old woman stepped on the air, and their saint aura was cold, like an ice prison. Lin Chen, the enemy's saints haven't all appeared yet. You must be careful, the palace master warned. Lin Chen nodded and used the silent step to rush into the sky, quickly leaving the battlefield of the saints. Where did the Hidden Pavilion ancestor go? Only 2 saints of the Hidden Pavilion came out. Where are the other 2? Many saints were puzzled. 10,000 days square, North Gate. A man with a withered face and a weak body flew out of the North Gate. Buzz. The space around the man was suddenly frozen, forming a natural barrier and space barrier. The neutral saints who were watching the battle suddenly changed their expressions, and they looked at the sky above the North Gate. Space barrier? What's going on? The Hidden Pavilion ancestor is at the North Gate. The veteran battle emperors were stunned. They stepped on the air and activated their battle chi to spy on the situation inside the barrier. Clap clap clap, a round of applause sounded, and an old man with a walking stick walked out of the darkness. His face was thin, and his eyes were filled with a murderous aura of sinking into a sea of blood and mountains of corpses. Seeing the old man with a walking stick, the man with a withered face stiffened. I have to say, your cloning secret technique is superb. Even I can't see through it. It's not inferior to an orange-grade battle skill. The Black Horse Club's foundation is really terrifying. Lin Chen, if you join the hidden pavilion, you may still have a chance to live. Everyone was shocked and looked at Lin Chen on the other side in shock. Was that just a clone? How was that possible? So many saints present couldn't see through it. How could his cloning technique be so good at disguising? Among all the sages that I've killed, none of them had such a powerful doppelganger technique like yours. If I hadn't set up my strongest tracking technique, the blood seal, on you right from the start, you would have really escaped. The hidden pavilion ancestor's words stirred up 1,000 waves, as expected of an old monster who has lived for tens of thousands of years. You actually saw through it. The man smiled with a calm expression. He took off the 1,000 illusion mask, revealing the face of a young man. All the saints' expressions were even more interesting. It really was Lin Chen. He had almost fooled all of the sages with a mere clone technique. If it weren't for the hidden pavilion ancestor, none of the saints present would have seen through his trick. Chapter 926. He really is an old monster in the world of assassins. He actually saw through my plan of luring the tiger away from the mountain. Could it be that he left a tracking mark on me the first time we met? I didn't notice it at all. Lin Chen's heart skipped a beat. The first plan had failed. It was impossible for him to rely on his clone to deceive the sages. He could only fight to the death. What do you think, Lin Chen? You only have one chance. If your Black Horse Club surrenders to my dark pavilion and hands over the ancient sage's inheritance, I can spare your life. The dark pavilion's patriarch still intended to recruit Lin Chen. Ha 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 ha. Lin Chen laughed maniacally. Recruit me, Lin Chen? Who do you think you are? Lin Chen smirked arrogantly. He waved one hand and light circulated around his body. Lin Chen put on a silver coat. The host has activated the mid-level blue rank sure kill skill, Een Demonic Ruthless Wind. It has locked onto living beings hostile to the host. Rumble. All the sages present, including those outside the spatial barrier, were swept up by a light green tornado. The tornado quickly killed the gray wind blades. It was cold and murderous, and it was so sharp that it could penetrate one's bones. Many sages were forced to use their saint origin to defend themselves or even retreat. However, the green tornado was like maggots attached to the bones. It tracked all the sages, and even the Dark Pavilion's patriarch's movements were slightly delayed. What the hell is this? Be careful, it's a ruthless wind that can track our movements. While everyone was delayed, Lin Chen put on his coat and activated his cultivation technique. There were countless layers on his silver coat, and each layer could fit one Saint Origin coin. At this moment, the entire coat was filled with silver Saint Origin coins. What is this? A sage exclaimed in shock. Lin Chen smiled. The Black Horse Club's special product, a pinnacle level 7 coin battlesuit. Then, a crazy desire to fight appeared at the corner of his mouth. Let's see if your spatial barrier can block my movements. Can it also block the perception of the heavenly tribulation? Amidst his wild laughter, Lin Chen's coin adornment battle armor was refined into a silver radiance. The energy of countless Saint Origin coins was refined into Lin Chen's body. Motherf ****, you're looking for death. A saint of the secret pavilion flew into a rage out of humiliation. He tore apart the tornado and was about to attack in rage. No, don't make a move, the ancestor of the dark pavilion roared. Before he could finish, the sky exploded with a bang. Boundless aura of calamities and tribulations gathered like a calamity of the great Tao. There was no escape from this calamity. The rolling tribulation clouds gathered above Lin Chen's head. This is the tribulation cloud of a first tribulation war emperor. We can't act rashly. Dark Pavilion's old ancestor berated everyone. Everyone broke through the vicious wind and the tornado was torn apart. They were bewildered. The heavenly tribulation could not be interfered with. If the heavenly tribulation sensed the interference of the power of the sage realm, the heavenly tribulation would rise to the level where it could deal with the sage realm. It would even target the sage realm and attack until the sage realm was dead. I didn't expect this kid to have such a trick up his sleeve. We've miscalculated. He wants to rely on the heavenly tribulation to deal with us. Dark Pavilion's old ancestor squinted his eyes. There was a hint of thorny feeling. Just as Lin Chen said, the spatial seal of the sage realm could completely seal his movements, but it could not seal the perception of the great Tao tribulation. Above the 9th level War Emperor was the 5th tribulation. Those who could cultivate to the 9th level War Emperor were all people who possessed the luck of the heavens and earth. While they possessed the luck of the heavens and earth, they also lacked the luck of the heavens and earth. The lack of luck of the heavens and earth would form a tribulation. It was an unavoidable hurdle in one's life, unless one could never break through to the 1st tribulation War Emperor. The 5th tribulation was the test of the War Emperor's great Tao and obtaining the luck of the heavens and earth. Only those who had gone through the 5th tribulation had the qualifications to break through to the sage realm. Comprehending the great Tao of life and death and achieving the sage realm. Remove the spatial barrier. Everyone back off. Don't give him the chance to use the heavenly tribulation to kill the saint. Once the heavenly tribulation is over, he'll be a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. Dark Pavilion's old ancestor waved his hand. The two saints gritted their teeth and removed the spatial barrier. Rumble! The tribulation clouds churned and gradually gathered to cover the sky. The tribulation clouds were filled with extreme destructive power. Dark Pavilion's old ancestor retreated 100 miles away and narrowed his eyes. As the tribulation clouds churned, they overlapped and formed the 9th tribulation cloud. Just the 9th tribulation cloud alone was 10,000 meters tall. When the 9-colored tribulation cloud formed, all the saints were shocked. How much luck of the heavens and earth did this kid owe the heavens and earth? 9 heavenly tribulations as soon as he arrived? I've never seen or heard of such a heavenly tribulation before. The 9th tribulation appeared at the same time. Even the heavens and earth want to annihilate him. Even a 3rd tribulation War Emperor might be injured by the energy brewing in the heavenly tribulation. This heavenly tribulation is too strong, the saints of Dark Pavilion frowned. Once Lin Chen died, the ancient saint's inheritance might be completely destroyed by the heavenly tribulation. This is my tribulation cloud. Why does it look so similar to my 9 tribulations of Genesis? Even their attributes are the same. Lin Chen pulled out the embryonic form of the Holy Spear. The 7-layered transformations stacked on top of the ultimate moment was instantly activated. Chi. Bang. The 9-colored tribulation cloud was the first to explode. A golden aura slashed at Lin Chen like a long river. As the dark aura pierced through, Lin Chen's figure flashed and disappeared mysteriously. Bang. The golden aura of the heavenly tribulation exploded, creating a golden storm. He dodged it? What a fast speed! It's dozens of times faster than the finals. Could it be that he traveled through the void? The two saints of Dark Pavilion were shocked. Rip! Lin Chen stepped on the black cloud and held the red spear in his hand. His body flashed with a brilliant silver aura as he appeared in front of the two saints of Dark Pavilion. The next moment, Lin Chen did something that shocked everyone. He raised his spear with both hands, and the red spear aura slashed down toward the Patriarch of Dark Pavilion's head. What? Countless experts felt their scalps go numb, and their eyeballs almost fell to the ground. They thought they had seen wrongly. A War Emperor dared to attack a saint? More importantly, this saint was the legendary Patriarch of Dark Pavilion. The legend of the assassin world. Damn it, you're courting death, the Patriarch of Dark Pavilion sneered. He stretched out his 5 fingers and was about to take down Lin Chen with one strike. Boom! 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 The golden tribulation cloud shot out a few golden auras at lightning speed, heading straight for Lin Chen and the Patriarch of Dark Pavilion. Oh no! This kid is setting a trap for me. If I attack, the energy of the heavenly tribulation will immediately surge and turn toward me. The Patriarch of Dark Pavilion was old and shrewd. He immediately understood Lin Chen's intention. He instantly traveled through the void and flashed away. Chi! Bang! The golden aura exploded, but it missed again. What a cunning kid! The Patriarch of Dark Pavilion appeared in the air and cursed with his walking stick. Patriarch, be careful! The two saints of Dark Pavilion exclaimed, and the 9-layered tribulation cloud quickly moved to the top of the Patriarch of Dark Pavilion's head. No. To be precise, it moved to the top of Lin Chen's head, who was behind the Patriarch of Dark Pavilion. Lin Chen punched out, activating the assault talent and attacking the Patriarch of Dark Pavilion's waist. Whoosh! The Patriarch of Dark Pavilion easily tore through the void and flashed again. His punch missed. The dark aura flashed, and Lin Chen was still following closely behind the Patriarch of Dark Pavilion. All the saints were dumbfounded. What was going on? Why was Lin Chen, a war emperor, able to travel through the void and catch up to the Patriarch of Dark Pavilion? Chapter 927. Once a dark horse appears, he'll attack from behind. Old bastard, here's a reward for you. Lin Chen laughed heartily as he waved his red spear, thrusting madly again. Bang! 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 The heavenly tribulation struck the air one after another. Lin Chen tore through the void and followed closely behind the Dark Pavilion Patriarch, beating him up. Hiss! The group of veteran battle emperors sucked in cold breaths. What was going on? A combat emperor was chasing after the Dark Pavilion Patriarch? What was wrong with this world? What's going on? This kid is only a combat emperor, but he can travel through the void and keep up with my speed? The Dark Pavilion Patriarch was shocked and angry. His body flashed back and forth. Lin Chen followed closely behind, attacking crazily with his red spear. Ha ha, come on, why don't you dare to fight back? Aren't you a King Saint? What legend of the assassin world? Trash, come and kill me if you dare. CK, are all of you Dark Pavilion cowards? You don't even dare to attack me, a combat emperor? Come and hit me, I beg you. CK, your eyes are as wide as eggs. Who are you trying to scare? Why don't you try attacking me? The saints of the Dark Pavilion gritted their teeth. This was a blatant humiliation. This kid was relying on his heavenly tribulation and the fact that none of the saints dared to interfere with his heavenly tribulation. But that's not right. Logically speaking, this shouldn't be possible. How did Lin Chen travel through the void? A combat emperor like him shouldn't be able to tear through the sacred boundary. This isn't the spatial crystal wall of the mortal realm. The saints who were neutral were stunned. No, look at the black cloud under his feet. The Thunder Sword Saint's eyes were sharp, and he immediately found the problem. Hiss! It's the Dark Shadow Tribe. That's still not right. Any living being that affects Lin Chen will cause the heavenly tribulation's strength to increase exponentially. How did he get the Dark Shadow to help him and not affect the heavenly tribulation at the same time? The saints were shocked. They were completely unable to see through Lin Chen's trump card. Little did they know that Lin Chen's shadow was an ultimate shadow, which Buddha sage had created through numerous experiments. It was capable of evading detection from the aura of tribulation. Little Dark Shadow was born as an innate dark shadow. If it hid its aura, even the heavenly tribulation would not be able to sense it. With a boom, Lin Chen's sneak attack succeeded. His spear struck the back of a saint who had allied with the hidden pavilion. The other party wasn't harmed in the slightest. His sacred body was as vast as the heavens and earth, possessing boundless good fortune. It wasn't something Lin Chen could harm. However, this spear strike filled his opponent with a sense of humiliation and shame. For a saint to be hit by the battle emperor, it could only be described with the word humiliation. However, he could only clench his teeth and retreat. If he attacked Lin Chen, the heavenly tribulation would immediately change its target to him. Bang! 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 Tribulation clouds surged. This time, it was the metal, wood, and water tribulation clouds that attacked. Water filled the horizon, gung metal crossed the heavens, and a sea of wood descended. Whoosh! Little dark shadow carried Lin Chen, creating sparks and lightning along the way. It perfectly avoided countless heavenly tribulation attacks. On the contrary, it appeared behind a saint like a ghost. The other party didn't notice it at all. Brother, it's raining in the chrysanthemum region. Let me help you. Lin Chen smiled evilly and stabbed the saint's chrysanthemum region with his spear. Bang! The spear shot out like a dragon, and the spear flashed. It exploded. Saint Emo Qing's chrysanthemum exploded. Why does he like to attack people from behind so much? That saint was sent flying by Lin Chen's spear. He was so angry that his face turned red. Lin Chen immediately put his face forward and said with a face full of anticipation, "Quick, hit me. Hit me with all your might. Saint Emo Qing." F***CKU, bang! The 9-colored tribulation clouds let out a deafening explosion again. The hidden pavilion saint shouted, "Old Emo Qing, get out of the way! Don't become the target of the heavenly tribulation." Saint Emo Qing, who was about to go berserk, was so frightened that he immediately regained his senses and hurriedly escaped into the void. Whoosh! Then, he went in the direction of the two saints from the hidden pavilion. The two of them were so frightened that they hurriedly retreated. "Ha ha ha, so high. Little guy, good job. I'll reward you." Lin Chen laughed and rewarded Little Dark Shadow with 10 stage 7 pills. Little Dark Shadow was happy, and its speed increased by 30% while carrying Lin Chen. Old Ancestor Ji's eyes trembled. Lin Chen was attacking them. "Not good, this brat is coming toward us." The saints who were fighting with the Ice Heart Palace's saints immediately scattered. Being provoked by the heavenly tribulation was not as simple as fighting with a saint. As soon as he said that, a ghostly figure appeared behind Old Ancestor Ji. "Old bastard of the Ji family, I'll give you a big gift," Lin Chen sneered. As he smashed his spear down with one hand, he took out 3 throwing knives and used the triple ultimate shadows with all his might. Whoosh! 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 Old Ancestor Ji raised his hand to block Lin Chen's spear. He did not put the ultimate shadow throwing knives in his eyes at all. His figure was about to explosively retreat as Saint Power enveloped his entire body. The next moment, rip! Saint blood splattered and a few attribute light balls rolled down. What? Everyone was stunned. Even Lin Chen was stunned. When everyone saw Saint blood spurting out from Old Ancestor Ji's anus, they could not help but subconsciously cover their anus. Someone shouted in fright, "Ji family's Old Ancestor's anus is cracked. F***CK, this Lin Chen is too abnormal." Everyone below the level of a sage was stunned. Those above the Saint realm were dumbfounded. Lin Chen had actually injured a Saint realm expert? Although he could not make a move because of the heavenly tribulation, for a Saint realm expert to defend against Lin Chen's attack was as easy as blowing off dust. It was like a baby using a sharp wooden knife to try to cut an adult wearing a supreme-grade weapon. Both sides were not on the same level, not to mention using Saint Origin to block. Even if he did not, with the strength of his Saint body, it was not a problem at all to block the Battle Emperor's attack. Activated RIP. Target's defense has been torn apart. Lin Chen was overjoyed. With my full strength, as long as I can activate RIP, I can injure a saint. With a flash, he took away Old Ancestor Ji's attribute light balls. Received 9 high-level rune energy, 7 high-level fire energy, 12 mid-level talent points, 50,000 strengthening points. F***CK. Lin Chen was stunned. Even if it was just a superficial wound, the quality of the attributes dropped by a Saint Realm expert was ridiculously high. He only had 290 mid-level talent points, but the attribute light balls dropped by a Saint Realm expert were worth 12 points. What did you do? Old Ancestor G was shocked and angry. His defense had been torn apart by an extremely domineering and strange force just now. Part of the flying knife's power had even penetrated his body. After the real fight, Old Ancestor G realized that this young man had endless means. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Lin Chen dodged more than 10 waves of Heavenly Tribulation's attacks, and a crazy thought emerged in his mind. F***CK. Since I'm going to do it, why don't I go crazy? Since Rip can help me injure a saint, I might as well go all out and use instant light split shadows to fight them to the end. Chapter 928. A Combat Emperor Against a Saint. Previously, he thought that he could not hurt a saint, but it was different now that his Rip talent could be used. As long as he used the Rip talent at close range, he could hurt a saint. This might be Lin Chen's only chance to fight a saint as a combat emperor. Clang! Lin Chen put away his spear. His waist was full of flying daggers, and his lips curled up. Whoosh! Little dark shadow followed his intention, and its speed increased to the maximum. Lin Chen's figure rushed behind Old Ancestor G, and Old Ancestor G used his movement technique to travel through the void again. However, Lin Chen was still chasing after him. Old Ancestor G activated his saint power to defend himself and cursed. Damn it, why do you always want to come behind me? Cut the crap, I'm going to kill you. Lin Chen pulled out the flying daggers at his waist and activated 2 offensive runes and his orange talent, instant light split shadows. 3 flying daggers bloomed from Lin Chen's hand and tore through the air. The saber light trembled and instantly split into 15 saber lights that were as curved as the moon. They flashed and attacked Old Ancestor G like snowflakes. It's that divine skill again. The saints focused their eyes. Clang! 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 The 12 daggers were all blocked, and the battle aura dissipated. 3 flying daggers rolled down, and Lin Chen retrieved them with one hand. This time, he did not activate the Rip talent. Old Ancestor G retreated to the side safely, and Lin Chen continued to chase after him. Boom! The 9 stages of Heavenly Tribulation followed closely behind Lin Chen. Metal, wood, water, fire, and earth tribulation clouds rushed down and destroyed the Heavenly Tribulation. Gold Tribulation Chi, Wood Tribulation Chi, Water Tribulation Chi, Fire Tribulation Chi, Earth Tribulation Chi, Earth Tribulation Chi, Chi 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 Tribulation Chi. Little guy. Lin Chen shouted, and little dark shadow's size increased. Its speed increased, and it traveled through the void, avoiding all the Heavenly Tribulation's power. Lin Chen waved his battlesuit and shook out dozens of silver Saint Origin coins for Little Dark Shadow to absorb. Although it was talented, its weakness was that it consumed a lot of energy. Again, Lin Chen waved his hand and retrieved his flying daggers. He cooperated with Little Shadow to avoid many Heavenly Tribulations and crazily chased after all the saints present. Run! Run! Damn it! Why does he always aim behind us? The power of the Heavenly Tribulation is getting stronger and stronger. Don't do anything. Damn, why is it coming for me? All the sages panicked and retreated. While Lin Chen cooperated with Little Shadow to avoid the attacks of the Heavenly Tribulation, he continuously traveled through the void to ambush the saints. Previously, Xing Domain didn't put him in his eyes because he thought that he was just a kid who borrowed the power of the Heavenly Tribulation to intimidate others. However, if Old Ancestor G's chrysanthemum cracked, the problem would be different. This meant that he had the means to injure a saint. The 16 Saints stage experts of the secret pavilion had been put in a difficult situation by Lin Chen. They had been chased around like chickens and dogs. Lin Chen continued to travel from the 10,000 days square to a distant space. Yueqing City was located 10,000 miles away from the Wansun Plaza. It was founded by a second-grade sect, the Heavenly Blue Mystic Moon sect. Today, Yueqing City was holding a large-scale auction. Countless caravans and experts had gathered. Bang! There was an explosion in the sky without any warning. Countless experts looked up in fright, their faces pale with fright. The space actually cracked. What's going on? Could it be a Saint stage expert? Oh my God, the space crystal wall is about to shatter. Some experts were on high alert. While they were holding their breaths, two figures suddenly appeared from the shattered space crack. Everyone was stunned, and then they were shocked and overjoyed. It's Saint Mo Qing. I've seen his portrait before. The other one is Flame Saint. The 4 heavenly fire techniques that I cultivate was modified by him. I'm so lucky to be able to see him today. Countless mortals were cheering for the might of the saints. However, before they could be happy for 2 breaths, the sky changed color, and the 2 saints' expressions became extremely ugly. The 9-colored tribulation cloud hung high in the sky like a giant moving star. The 9-colored tribulation cloud was like an apocalyptic tribulation descending upon heaven and earth. The extreme destructive aura caused countless experts to feel fear. Heavenly tribulation? The 2 saints brought heavenly tribulation? That's not right. Why would a saint experience a heavenly tribulation? It's a 9-stage heavenly tribulation. I've never seen a war emperor's heavenly tribulation like this. While the experts were sucking in cold breaths, whoosh! A young silver-robed figure with a shiny silver battlesuit on his shoulders appeared behind the Flame Saint on a black cloud without any warning. Swoosh! 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 Countless whistling sounds rang out as the young man's hands released more than a dozen blade auras and slashed toward Flame Saint. Splat! Saint blood splattered. Flame Saint's thigh was cut and he looked furious. The young man's eyes lit up, and he laughed maniacally as he collected the attribute light balls. Haha, awesome! Beating a saint is so King awesome. I like it. Hearing the young man's maniacal laughter, all the experts in Yueqing City were dumbfounded. They were all doubting their lives. What's going on? A war emperor beating a saint? And King beating a saint? Has the world gone mad, or have we gone mad? The young man followed up with another attack. His fists were swinging rapidly, and his legs were like blades, slashing and sweeping horizontally. He kept shuttling through the void and appearing beside the 2 saints, suppressing them so much that the latter didn't even dare to fight back. Lin Chen, once the heavenly tribulation is over, I won't be called Flame Saint if I don't tear you into pieces. Flame Saint was in an extremely sorry state. He couldn't attack, nor could he defend. There were only 2 outcomes for this kid's attack. He could either easily defend against them or tear through his defenses. There was no way to guess how he would defend against his next move. Boom! The tribulation cloud shook, and many heavenly tribulations descended in a frenzy. It shocked Yueqing City so much that they set up a defensive array to block the aftershocks of the heavenly tribulation. The 2 saints took the opportunity to escape. Lin Chen used his shadow to dodge the heavenly tribulation's attacks and chased after the 2 saints at top speed. Lin Chen's heart was overjoyed. During the conference of the 4 saints, the gathering of the saints was like a huge rock pressing down on his heart. Now it was all gone. Just do it. The more ferocious he was, the more attribute points he would gain. The tribulation cloud quickly followed Lin Chen's movements and left. Before the powerful fighters in Yueqing City could recover from their shock, a group of figures flashed across the sky. Quick! Get ready to cover Lin Chen at any time. Don't let that kid get away. Keep a good distance. Take him down once the heavenly tribulation is over. Two groups of sages appeared in the sky, and the continuous flashes of the Sage Realm formation shocked all the experts in Moonlight Green City. It's the Shadow Demon Saints from the Dark Pavilion. Oh my God, even the Dragon Bone Sword Sage has come out? Why didn't we receive any news? Oh my God, look at that old senior leading the first team. Why does he look like the legendary killer from the Dark Pavilion, the Dark Pavilion's patriarch in Tianma? Gasp. Even that old man has come out? Isn't he a legendary figure that only exists in ancient books? What kind of day is it today? The group of battle emperors went crazy. What was going on? More than a dozen saints were chasing after one battle emperor? What kind of goddamn battle emperor was this? Chapter 929. White Frost City was located at the border between Xuanyu and Mystic Territory. Today, White Frost City was as peaceful as usual, but a sudden explosion of thunder shocked the entire city. Thunder, it's the lightning tribulation. No, it's the 9 heavenly tribulation? What's going on? Which peerless genius is going through the tribulation? The powerhouses guarding White Frost City were shocked. Bang! When the earth-shattering sound was heard, a silver-robed young man descended from the sky and floated on a black cloud. Immediately after, a dazzling holy light illuminated the surroundings. The attack of the 9 heavenly tribulation clouds gradually weakened and was about to dissipate. High up in the sky, the holy light spun like a wheel, spreading out images of sacred palaces in the sky. The aura was vast and majestic, as if a sacred site had descended. The battle emperors and Yuan venerables below White Frost City looked up at this moment in shock. The shock in their hearts was indescribable. Welcome, sacred arrival. I wonder which sacred realm Almighty has come to White Frost City. White Frost City Lord greets the sacred realm Almighty. Many living beings in White Frost City knelt down and bowed in the direction of the holy light. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The sacred palaces in the sky shattered like a bubble. More than a dozen holy lights dissipated, and 16 sages walked out from within. Their auras and auras exuded supreme sacred aura. Hiss! Countless people sucked in a breath of cold air. 16 sages? Even second-grade sects, known as eternal sects, only had one sage. What was the concept of 16 sages? The sages in the sky shone with holy light and were supreme. Their eyebrows were like lightning, and their sacred eyes flickered with undefeatable lightning. Their feet stepped on raging tornadoes, and they were like the monarch of the wind that ruled the world. They could summon the wind and summon the rain, and they could control the world with a single thought. Or they wielded the sacred pearl, and their eyes seemed to be able to see through everything. Their sacred aura was oppressive, as if they could make billions of people kneel down with a single glance. Each of them was a sage revered by billions of people in the mortal world. They were powerful and had great fame. History seemed to have stopped at this moment. 16 sages had surrounded a young man with only the cultivation of a battle emperor. Lin Chen, the heavenly tribulation is about to dissipate. Even if you have the innate dark shadow, you won't be able to escape. There has never been a combat emperor who dared to make me waste so much energy. I will crush every bone in your body, young man. The 16 saints were either mocking him or staring at him coldly, revealing their killing intent. At the sight of this, many of the young geniuses of White Frost City instinctively fell into despair. 16 sage realm almighty beings had surrounded the battle emperor. What a despairing reality! It was as if 16 dragons had surrounded a small white rabbit. Not to mention a match, it wasn't even qualified to be an appetizer. Boom! The 9-colored tribulation cloud began to dissipate. 10,000 layers of saint might shone brightly as it locked onto Lin Chen. As soon as the heavenly tribulation completely dissipated, the sages would attack immediately. Ha ha! Lin Chen threw his head back and laughed. If you want to eat me, Lin Chen, you'll have to break your teeth first. At this moment, the billions of living beings in White Frost City were shocked by the young combat emperor's courage to show his claws and teeth to the sages. Lin Chen opened his arms wide, and a strong wind blew at his silver robe. The shiny silver Saint Origin coins turned into a silver river and flowed into his body. Finally, Ying Tianma's expression changed. Could it be? Lin Chen laughed maniacally as he shouted, "The tribulation is coming." Chi! Bang! A 9-colored heavenly thunder rumbled in the sky. 10,000 tribulation clouds gathered in an instant. The 16 sages were shocked. The heavenly tribulation is coming again? What's going on? This kid has broken through to the second tribulation combat emperor. He has broken through 2 levels in a row. Are you kidding me? How could he have broken through 2 levels in such a short period of time? Is he cultivating an orange tear heart technique? The sages retreated in shock and confusion. It's his robe. The silver Saint Origin coins in his robe have been filling it. He has been refining silver Saint Origin coins crazily while he is transcending the tribulation. Ying Tianma's voice was hoarse and there was still confusion in his eyes. Logically speaking, there was no possibility of this happening. No matter how powerful the heart technique was, it would still take a long time for one to refine a large amount of silver Saint Origin coins. Let alone a first tribulation combat emperor who had broken through to the second tribulation combat emperor. It was impossible for a combat emperor who had just broken through to the second tribulation combat emperor in such a short period of time. Host has received 15 high-grade essence, 22 high-grade essence, 11 high-grade essence, 31 high-grade essence. Lin Chen's system screen was still changing rapidly. The reason was simple. He had been refining silver Saint Origin coins crazily since the beginning. However, the amount of silver Saint Origin coins was far more than what was on the battle robe. Lin Chen's 5 doppelgangers had been hiding in the peach blossom pouch to activate the ultimate moment at full speed. Due to the explosive increase in his elemental attributes, the power of his mental cultivation method was enhanced by the ultimate moment talent. At the same time, Lin Chen's main body and his 5 clones were absorbing the silver Saint Origin coins at an extremely high speed while they were transcending the tribulation. During this period of time, Lin Chen had refined 2 million silver Saint Origin coins rapidly. This amount of silver Saint Origin coins made Lin Chen's high-grade battle chi essence increase by more than 200,000 points. This was twice the original amount of battle chi essence. If it was converted into mid-grade essence, it would be more than 20 trillion Saint Origin coins. As a result, Lin Chen had broken through to the first and second tribulation combat emperors at an unprecedented speed. Fortunately, I have broken through. If it wasn't for the fact that my ripping talent could injure saints and the additional 70,000 high-grade essence that I obtained by picking up the Saint Origin coins, plan number 2 would have almost failed. Damn it. Sometimes it's wrong to have a good foundation. Lin Chen was sweating profusely. 2 million silver Saint Origin coins. Even a pig would have broken through by now, but it was still not enough for him. If it wasn't for the fact that he had injured the Saint Origin coins, Lin Chen wouldn't have been able to summon the second heavenly tribulation. Rumble. This time, the heavenly tribulation clouds were several times more terrifying than the previous ones. A 9-colored thundercloud appeared in the sky. The flashing lightning within the thundercloud could even kill a 4th tribulation combat emperor. Little guy, can you still withstand it? Lin Chen shouted in a deep voice and transmitted his voice to Little Dark Shadow. He couldn't completely avoid the heavenly tribulation with his movement skill, so he had to rely on Little Dark Shadow. Swoosh! Little Dark Shadow didn't answer him directly. Instead, it turned into a cloud of dark mist and shrouded Lin Chen. Then, it transformed into a pair of dark wings that were more than 6 meters long. Boom! 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 The 9-colored lightning struck like an electric python. Lin Chen didn't have time to study the pair of dark wings. He flapped his dark wings and twisted the space around him. Rumble! The lightning exploded, hitting nothing but air. The saint's eyes trembled. This kid's speed of traveling through the void had become even faster. This time, I won't run away. I'll fight you to the end. Lin Chen suddenly rushed toward the 16 saints. Chapter 930. 7 Ultimate Force. Life and Death Ultimate Force. The void rotated, and the shadow of a leg came slashing. The attack with 7 dragons wrapped around it went straight for the Dark Pavilion's patriarch, enchantment. Instant light split shadow. Lin Chen put all his strength into this attack. When it hit enchantment sneered and flicked his sleeve. With a whoosh, he dissolved Lin Chen's attack that was comparable to an orange-grade combat technique. No, to be precise, it should be 5 moves. Lin Chen used all his strength to activate his orange-grade talent, Instant Light Split Shadow. However, the tier talent was not triggered. Without the tier talent, Lin Chen could not break the saint's defense. Whoosh! The 9-colored lightning bolts blasted out again. Lin Chen and enchantment flashed away, dodging the attack of the heavenly tribulation. Whoosh! Dark wings flapped continuously, and Lin Chen dodged behind enchantment again. At close range, he pulled out Azure Bright Moon and slashed horizontally. Instant Light Split Shadow, Mirror Moon Divine Order. 5 peerless slashes reflected the endless moonlight, and they were still blocked by enchantment with one hand. Don't treat me like those useless trash. Enchantment sneered. Suddenly, a bloody wound appeared on his arm, and an attribute light ball dropped. Host triggered talent tier. Received 8 points of advanced dark energy. Lin Chen was delighted and laughed. A famous legend in the assassin world can be hurt by a mere war emperor like me? Looks like you are no different from those useless trash you call yourself. Enchantment's expression was gloomy. If not for the heavenly tribulation, I would have killed you thousands of times. But it does. Are you angry? Are you angry? Come and hit me, come on. Lin Chen smirked, and enchantment was so angry that his veins were popping. Whoosh! Boom! The 9-colored lightning came again. What puzzled all the sages was why Lin Chen did not run away this time. Instead, he continued to pursue and fight the various sages. Damn it! I can't fight back. And I can't run too far away. Moreover, I have to keep an eye on this brat. So, I can only passively take a beating. Since when had they, as dignified saint stage experts, suffered such humiliation? However, when they thought about the heritage of the ancient sages, they could only bear with it. The experts of White Frost City looked like they were doubting their lives. It was too strange. A war emperor chasing after the saints and beating them up? The deafening roar of thunder shook the entire area. But Lin Chen was as agile as a ghost, dodging here and there. Not a single heavenly tribulation struck him. Iceheart Palace's palace master and the others also arrived near the heavenly tribulation, but they didn't dare to enter rashly. Lin Chen's eyes lit up. Looks like the plan was a success. The only variable is the mark that the Dark Pavilion's old ancestor left on me. Time returned to a certain day 3 days ago. In a secret room. You're Lin Chen? The 3 saints looked at the thin man in front of them in surprise. These 3 saints were in charge of the single combat competition. They were the ones who bought the Long Qingguo with Lin Chen at the beginning. Yes and no. However, I can represent Lin Chen to make a deal with you. The reward is 30 Long Qingguo. The man smiled. The 3 saints frowned. The white-browed old man said indifferently, "What deal do you want? After the battle breaks out, you have to send me to Dark Island as quickly as possible." The 3 saints were shocked. Dark Island was located at the border between Xuanyu and the Mystic Realm. There were countless fierce, vicious beasts on the island. The most terrifying thing was that some powerful existence seemed to have died on the island, causing the spatial laws to become chaotic and collapse. The spatial crystal walls were abnormally strong. Even if an ordinary saint entered Dark Island, they wouldn't be able to travel through the void. Moreover, there were rumors that there were saint beasts living on the island. 30 Longkingwo? If it's just escorting you there, it won't be a problem. However, it'll take half a day at the fastest. Rumble. Under Lin Chen's relentless attacks, he successfully activated Tear on Flame Sage and Old Ancestor G, obtaining a large number of high-quality attribute light balls. However, the tribulation clouds started to dissipate. The 9-colored thunderclouds gradually thinned and became fewer and fewer. Damn it, I'm going to skin him alive later. Damn it, he can't possibly summon a third heavenly tribulation. The saints rubbed their palms and stared at Lin Chen with murderous intent. Finally, after 12 hours of humiliation, they could finally deal with this little bastard. Without the heavenly tribulation to worry about, any saint would be able to take him down in one move. At this moment, Lin Chen landed on the tallest building in White Frost City. He temporarily hid Little Shadow back in the peach blossom pouch. In front of everyone, he raised his hand and snapped his fingers. Smack. I'm not targeting anyone. I just want to say that the 16 saints here are too ugly. The Black Horse Club is so cool. His laughter spread in all directions, and before anyone could react, the tribulation clouds of the 9-colored lightning tribulation finally dissipated. Meanwhile, a spatial light broke open above Lin Chen's head and instantly enveloped him. Host activated super-dimensional teleportation. Consumed 29 intermediate talent points. Teleported to Space 5. Whoosh. The spatial light pillar flashed, and Lin Chen disappeared. White Frost City was eerily silent. Only the echo of Lin Chen's "so cool" could be heard. This? The saint's eyeballs almost fell to the ground. What was going on? How could this brat jump out of their perception range when traveling through the void? Ying Tianmo's pupils trembled. He was the only one who could lock onto Lin Chen's position. In that instant, Lin Chen had jumped to the other side of the Eternal Sun Square and crossed an extremely long distance in an instant. That direction is... Oh no. He's going to enter the Island of Darkness. Ying Tianmo, who was old and experienced, instantly realized Lin Chen's purpose and immediately waved his hand. Everyone, follow me. This kid can't escape. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The Palace Master of Ice Heart Palace and the other saints immediately blocked his path. Flame Sage, Old Ancestor G, and the other saints were directly blocked. Let's go first. Don't get entangled by these guys. Once that kid enters the Island of Darkness, he'll be out of our control. Ying Tianmo had no time to care about the saints of Ice Heart Palace. He directly brought the 8 saints who could still move and tore through space together. Kid, this is all we can do. The rest is up to you. Looking in the direction where Ying Tianmo and the others left, the Palace Master of Ice Heart Palace sighed in her heart. Then, she focused on dealing with the opponent in front of her. White Frost City was greeted by a deathly silence. Who was this young combat emperor? He had fooled more than a dozen saints, and even managed to escape in the end. He just said that the Black Horse Club, in a sea region, there was heavy fog. Whoosh! Lin Chen instantly appeared beside the Dragon Emperor, scaring the 3 saints so much that they were on guard. Then, they cried out in shock. Lin Chen? It's you? Why are you here? Chapter 931. Lin Chen, how did you get here? The 3 holy sages' expressions suddenly froze. They could clearly sense a powerful killing intent locking onto Lin Chen. Even at their level, they felt a chill run down their spines. It was the patriarch of the Dark Pavilion, Ying Tianmo. There's no time to explain. This is your reward. Seniors, hurry up and leave. You're all neutral. If you're discovered to have helped me escape, you'll also be targeted by the Dark Pavilion. Lin Chen placed the promised 30 Longqingguo into his storage ring before tossing it to the 3 holy sages. They looked at each other before saying earnestly, "Take care, little guy." The 3 holy sages came from different forces. If they helped Lin Chen on the surface, the forces behind them would be targeted by the Dark Pavilion. Lin Chen had the disguised Dragon Emperor negotiate with the 3 holy sages from the very beginning. He had them take the Dragon Emperor away after the battle began, then he would stall the holy sages. His clone would lure them away, the heavenly tribulation would take advantage of the situation, and the Dragon Emperor would turn the dragon into a phoenix. Lin Chen had prepared 3 ways to deal with the pursuit of the holy sages, but there were still many accidents. Firstly, he didn't think that Tianma would see through his clone. As a result, the 3 holy sages didn't have enough time to take his Dragon Emperor to the Dark Island according to the original plan. Lin Chen bade farewell to the 3 holy sages and kept the ultimate moment active the entire time. He had only used the super-dimensional teleportation once, but it had already consumed close to 1/10 of his talent points. There's not much distance left to the Dark Island. I'll just have to rush over with all my might. Little Shadow has used up all of its energy in order to avoid the heavenly tribulation and coordinate with my attacks. I can't use it anymore. Lin Chen glanced at the peach blossom plant pouch. At this moment, there were still over 3 million silver Saint Origin coins left. Little Shadow was quickly swallowing pills and absorbing silver Saint Origin coins to recover from its injuries. Its exhaustion was so severe that it almost affected its future potential. Lin Chen activated the true flame purple phoenix wings, carelessly stuffed a handful of medicinal pills into his mouth, and frantically used infinite silent steps to rush towards the deepest part of the sea region at his fastest speed. Lin Chen had become a 9th-stage battle empress, and the purple phoenix wings actually had very little effect on his movement technique. However, no matter how small a mosquito was, it was still meat. Lin Chen gave it his all to move. The Eye of 9 Tribulations could vaguely sense that Tianma's monstrous murderous aura was approaching him. There's still time. My purple golden eyes and mind power have already detected the exact location of the Dark Island. It's not far away. Lin Chen madly used infinite silent steps and rushed over, getting closer and closer to Dark Island. When there were only 2,000 miles left, a strange phenomenon occurred. Lin Chen, in the end, this old man still caught up to you. Die. Tianma stepped on a snow-white wheel of light, tearing through space and appearing. Behind him were 8 saints. A spatial saint artifact? Lin Chen's pupils trembled. Tianma actually possessed the rarest spatial treasure. Rumble. Tianma stretched out his hand, and his 5 fingers shattered the mountains and sunk into oblivion. They glowed with holy light and condensed into a vast and ferocious dark gas poisonous python that swallowed the sky. The poisonous python emitted a brilliant holy aura and shot directly at Lin Chen's spatial location. Everywhere it passed, it stirred up tens of thousands of angry waves on the sea. 8 saints flashed in an instant and attacked Lin Chen. Some opened spatial enchantments, while others attacked him furiously. They would not give Lin Chen any more chances. Lin Chen did not hesitate to use his sure kill skills in succession. Host has activated blue rank intermediate and advanced sure kill skills. Hell's Green Burial, Hell's Ice Fiend, Sky-Splitting Sandstorm, Demon Ruthless Wind, Mystic Extreme Wind. Lin Chen used 5 sure kill skills in one breath. He had no choice. With Tianma, a second heaven saint, holding the line, 1 or 2 sure kill skills would not be able to stop the 8 saints led by him. Streaks of green light flowed with a hellish murderous aura. They were as vast as pillars and suddenly fell from the top of the saints' heads. The icy murderous aura spiraled like a dragon, setting up tens of thousands of ice walls and freezing the dark gas poisonous python. The giant wind blade whistled past, and a terrifying sandstorm with a force that could tear space apart swept up waves. Streaks of murderous aura and chilly wind were roaring like a bone-chilling wind. Many sure-kill skills appeared in the sky and blocked all the saints. D*Eminent, what kind of trick is this? Be careful, these attacks can't be avoided. It's very strange. Focus on defense. Even someone as strong as Tianma was caught off guard by Lin Chen's sudden combination of sure-kill skills. He repeatedly activated his defensive combat skills to block them head-on. If it were ordinary attacks, it would not be able to stop 9 saints at the same time. However, Lin Chen's sure-kill skills had the characteristic of 100% accuracy, forcing the saints to use their saint power to block them. Borrowing the power of the sure-kill skills, the spatial boundary that sealed the sea was instantly shattered. Lin Chen fled at top speed. Now that he did not have the help of the heavenly tribulation, a saint could easily kill him. Rashly approaching him would be courting death. Now, the most important thing was to rush into Dark Island. Only by entering would he be able to escape the control of the saints. Inside Dark Island, the saints could not travel through the void or seal the space. It would be great if I could meet the conditions to use the God Slayer innate skill. However, under the premise that I was surrounded by 16 saints, I did not have the time to make enemies. Lin Chen gritted his teeth unwillingly. Lin Chen had once provoked a large number of War Emperors and Yuan Venerates when he was at the Yuan Venerate realm. In the end, he had used the God Slayer innate skill to turn the tables. However, the current situation was different from before. 16 saints could suppress him at once. If not for the heavenly tribulation, he would not have had the chance to act at all. The strength of the God Slayer innate skill depended on the strength and number of enemies the host encountered. Previously, Lin Chen had fought against a false god and obtained the cultivation of the Saint Realm at the cost of turning the entire 9 states upside down. Only the enhanced version of the God Slayer innate skill had reached such height. If he rashly attacked this time and did not have enough enemies, he could not guarantee that he would have the power to enter the Saint Realm. Without the cultivation of the Saint Realm, facing 16 saints, even a 5th Tribulation War Emperor would be a dead end. Lin Chen stuffed a large amount of Long Qingguo into his mouth. His cheeks were swollen like a hamster's. If anything happened, he would immediately chew the Long Qingguo to heal his injuries. Boom! An aggressive Saint Realm expert charged over. It was Saint Incineration from a 3rd-grade sect. His signature defensive combat skill blocked all the killing moves and caught up with Lin Chen. Little bastard, accept your fate. Saint Incineration laughed sinisterly and attacked. Before he could finish speaking, a green sacred flame condensed in his hand and a grayish-white talisman appeared out of thin air. Ghost suppressing Saint's Sealing. Activating the level 6 sluggish rune. Consuming 90 points of high-grade rune energy. Saint Incineration's figure suddenly stopped. This time, even though his sacred power was on guard, he was still slightly delayed by Lin Chen's sluggish rune and stagnated in the void. Rip! One of Lin Chen's phantom doppelgangers tore off the 1000 illusion mask and rushed out of the peach blossom pouch. Disregarding life and death, the life and death ultimate force swept across Saint Incineration's neck and sent him flying with a kick. The sneak attack was successful. The other party was not injured at all and was kicked into the sea. Lin Chen's hair stood on end and a chill ran down his spine. A bone-like palm reached out from the void in front of Lin Chen's face and grabbed at Lin Chen. It was the patriarch of the Dark Pavilion, Tianma. Chapter 932. Tianmo was the second to break free from the sure-kill skill. He stopped Lin Chen in the blink of an eye. His palm pierced through the void and reached for Lin Chen's face. Level 6 slow rune activated. 280 points of high-grade rune energy consumed. Lin Chen took a step back and waved his hand. In an instant, a quarter of the high-grade rune energy was consumed. he cast an unprecedentedly powerful slow rune. The grayish-white rune appeared like a ghost and exploded in front of Ing Tianmo. The space around Linshan froze, and the withered palm paused for a moment. Ing Tianmo let out a cry of surprise. The legend of the assassin world couldn't help but be shocked. A mere combat emperor could freeze the space around him? Whoosh! Lin Chen took a step back with the silent step. At the same time, Lin Chen gathered the origin of 9 tribulations in his palm. A 9-colored star shot out from his palm. When the 9-colored star was thrown out, it trembled slightly and split into 5. Instant light split shadows was activated. Facing Ing Tianmo, Lin Chen didn't hold back. He used the 9 tribulations star as soon as they met. He used all his runes and talents. This was because Ing Tianmo was a second Heaven Saint Realm expert. He was second only to the criminals from the Holy Prison when Lin Chen used his 2 orange talent. Lin Chen's 9 tribulations star, which was a second tribulation combat emperor, could unleash a power that was 5 to 6 times stronger than what he had unleashed during the team competition. Chi. The 5 9 tribulations star were like clay oxen entering the sea. The moment it came into contact with the withered palm, it disintegrated into nothingness. The 2 sides weren't even on the same level. However, Lin Chen's sure kill skill wasn't the 9 tribulations star. It was a sure kill skill. Host activated intermediate and advanced blue rank sure kill skills. 8 Desolation Flame twice, Green Mountain Destruction twice, 1000 Suns Incineration once, Een Deficiency Thunderstorm once. Boom. The weather changed. Just as Heavenly Demon was about to break free from the level 6 delaying rune, thousands of powerful attacks locked onto the 9 saints present. Damn it, why is there no end to it? How did this kid obtain this ghostly energy? The sages who had just defended against the first wave of sure kill attacks could not help but curse. The power of a combined sure kill technique was no small matter. If it was just one type, they could forcefully resist and move through the void to forcefully grab Lin Chen. However, Lin Chen didn't hold back at all. He used 6 or 7 sure kill moves in one go. Under the coordinated bombardment, they were forced to use all their strength to resist. They had no time to worry about Lin Chen. Whoosh! Lin Chen gritted his teeth and charged towards the island of darkness, which was only 1,000 miles away. The island was shrouded in dense fog, and as far as the eye could see, it was the territory of the island. It was vast, and its surface area was extremely huge. Lin Chen, since you insist on seeking death, this old man will fulfill your wish. Even if I have to risk getting injured, I will kill you. Ing Tianmo was furious. Lin Chen gritted his teeth and puffed up his cheek. Damn it, is this old bastard going to risk his life with me? Just as the other party was about to forcefully resist the power of the sure kill technique, a black cloud emerged from Lin Chen's waist and condensed into a pair of dark wings. With a whoosh, Lin Chen was pulled into the void. They traveled through the void at extreme speed. Little guy. Lin Chen was delighted, but his expression immediately became serious. Little Shadow was completely draining himself to bring Lin Chen away. Lin Chen was the only human it could rely on. Brat, you can't escape, Ing Tianmo roared. Whoosh. Finally, Little Shadow's desperate action pulled Lin Chen into the foggy island of darkness. They fell into the foggy clouds of the island of darkness and disappeared. Woo woo woo. After falling into a dark forest on the island, Little Shadow released itself from Lin Chen's possession and let out a painful groan. Little guy, that's enough. Go back quickly. I will take care of the rest. Lin Chen was touched and quickly put it back into the peach blossom plant pouch. He stepped into the air and looked around. Every aspect of the island of darkness was the same as the outside world. The only difference was that the space here had a faint sense of oppression and the space crystal walls were abnormally firm. Lin Chen sensed that there were many 7th-order peak ferocious beasts wandering around the island. Their auras were abnormally brutal. Some of the ferocious beasts were approaching him. The auras of individual ferocious beasts were not inferior to third or fourth calamity battle emperors. Roar! 2 giant demonic poisonous rhinoceroses, dozens of feet tall, emerged from the forest on the island. Green veins flowed through the dark green rhinoceros horns on their heads. Their bloodthirsty and ruthless eyes locked onto Lin Chen. Bang! 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 When the 2 behemoths saw Lin Chen, a human stranger, they rushed toward him without saying a word. Wherever they passed, many towering trees collapsed. Swoosh! Lin Chen used the silent step and slashed out a vanishing shadow flying knife. He kicked the giant rhinoceroses in the air. The 7 forces combined into one exploded and kicked the giant rhinoceroses. Even though Lin Chen was a second tribulation battle emperor, he couldn't kill the 2 behemoths in one move. He only injured them, and they dropped 2 light balls with the attribute of blood and chi. 2 poisonous rhinoceroses that are comparable to third tribulation battle emperors. Damn it, they are so tough right from the start. They are both battle-hardened and have thick skin. Lin Chen's expression was solemn. Sure enough, I still hate those who are more resistant than me. Now is not the time to fight with them. The only way to win is to escape. Lin Chen quickly used the silent step and activated the innate shadow art with the dark calamity battle chi. He suppressed all his aura and rushed into the island of darkness at full speed. His cheeks were still bulging like a hamster. In this damned place, he had to be prepared to heal his injuries at any time. That kid went in? Oh no, we can't sense the space in the island of darkness. We can't sense the situation in the space below. The 9 saints surrounded one end of the island of darkness and hesitated. They had been saints for millions of years, and were used to walking in the void and tearing the space apart. If they suddenly lost control of the space, they would instinctively feel uneasy like a bird with a broken wing. If they encountered a special situation, they could only rely on their body movement and their flying speed. I can still sense that kid's location. The 5 of you will guard the outside of the island. The 3 of you will follow me into the island. Tianma said in a deep voice and flicked his sleeve. His cultivation was the strongest, so he was confident that he could deal with anything calmly. He ordered the 2 saints of the secret pavilion, the Shadow Saint and the Devil Saint, as well as Saint Fun, who could burn 10,000 flames and 10,000 poisons. The 4 saints formed a team, so they could deal with any unexpected situation calmly. This matter was of great importance. Once Lin Chen went deep into the island of darkness, they might not be able to catch him. Swoosh! The 4 saints rushed through the dense fog and landed on the island of darkness. When they sensed that the space in the island of darkness couldn't be torn apart, they frowned at the same time. This way, that kid really wants to go inside. Kill him! The 4 saints used their body movement techniques, and their speed was so fast that it was dazzling. Oh no, I forgot that I still have that old bastard's mark on me. Lin Chen's expression changed slightly when he sensed the murderous aura behind him with the Eye of 9 Tribulations. In his original plan, he didn't expect that he would be locked onto. Chapter 933. Tianma was a ruthless character in the assassin world, and his method of finding enemies was superb. Lin Chen didn't know how to deal with it. The most important thing was that the phantom doppelganger couldn't be used as a target to attract the opponent's attention. The doppelganger that could pass off as the real thing was also useless. Boom! For huge and terrifying auras came from behind, and wherever they passed, all the ferocious beasts were suppressed until they trembled. Desperate situation. Lin Chen was in a real desperate situation. The disparity in this battle was even greater than the pseudo-god battle. Lin Chen's trump cards weren't enough to break out of this desperate situation. Absolute life and death, Sovereign's Descent, Instant Light, Split Shadow, God Slayer, and 5 runes were all not enough. Although absolute life and death was strong, It wasn't enough for Lin Chen to transform to the Saint Realm unless he was at the peak of the fifth tribulation. Sovereign's descent was possible, but the opponent wouldn't give him time to hunt beasts to accumulate energy. Instant light, split shadow had unlimited potential, but it depended on the host's true strength as a foundation. The only God Slayer talent didn't have the prerequisite to activate, and it would be a waste to use it rashly. I still have 3 moves left, and I can only delay for a while at most. I have less than 640 points of advanced rune energy left, and in front of 4 saints, I can only use the slow rune once or twice. Do I have to rely on the gap created by the killing move and the slow rune to launch a sneak attack, and then pin all my hopes on the tier talent? What a joke! If I have to rely on luck to turn the tables, I might as well commit suicide. In the face of life and death, Lin Chen's consciousness turned quickly. He almost searched through all his trump cards, but he couldn't find a single possibility to turn the tables. That's right, that complete low-grade light attribute odd crystal. Lin Chen opened an exquisite jade box. The clear and bright light attribute odd crystal was like the most beautiful jade in the world, like a brilliant polar star that was quietly sealed in the jade box. This was the only complete odd crystal left for Lin Chen in the ancient sage inheritance. Lin Chen originally planned to try refining it after entering the sage realm or the peak of the fifth tribulation, but now he could only risk his life with it. Decompose this odd crystal, then use the decomposed special attribute value to create a batch of killing skills, then use the killing skills I have on hand to activate absolute life and death to fight to the death with them. This is probably my, Lin Chen's, last struggle. Lin Chen was very clear that although a complete low-grade odd crystal was strong, it was impossible to rely on it to kill or defeat 4 saints. Motherf *Ker, if you want to kill me, you'll have to lose a few pieces of flesh. Lin Chen's eyes flashed with a fierce light. He was like a lone wolf that had been forced into a dead end. Even before death, he would tear off a few pieces of his enemy's flesh. Just as Lin Chen was about to order the system to decompose the light-type odd crystal, his mind exploded. Whoosh! As Lin Chen flew at high speed, he took out a golden gauntlet and his heart trembled. War God Gauntlet! This was one of the most mysterious items that Lin Chen had obtained. He had worn it once and was almost killed by it. But there was no doubt that the moment he wore the War God Gauntlet, Lin Chen indeed had the strength to contend with a saint. His pure strength was ridiculously strong. I'm much stronger now than when I was in the ancient sacred hall, but I'm still like an ant compared to it. But if I can hold on a little longer, maybe I won't die after using it once. But if he failed, not to mention killing a saint, Lin Chen would be smashed into meat paste by this thing first. Lin Chen hesitated for a tenth of a breath, and a monstrous murderous aura enveloped Lin Chen like a tornado. The dark pavilion old ancestor led 3 saints and charged over from the void 100 miles away. The dark pavilion old ancestor is here? Lin Chen was shocked and immediately issued an order. System, show me all of my killing moves. Host has activated advanced blue rank killing skills. Sky in Ice Storm, Sky in Dark Thunder, Sky Splitting Sandstorm. 4 enemy targets have been locked on. The raging killing skills emerge. The murderous Ice Storm, Dark Thunder, and Sandstorm were aggressive and wanted to destroy the world. The thousands of attacks destroyed many forests and tore through the layers of fog. It's those strange attacks again. Be careful. The attacks can't be avoided. Take it head on. Ha ha ha, Lin Chen, this attack can't be compared to the last 2 times. Are you at the end of your rope? This old man will humiliate you well. Tianma looked up to the sky and laughed wildly, revealing the ferocity that had been hidden for 10,000 years. His heart was already burning with rage. After being played by such a junior time and time again, he had long wanted to torture Lin Chen until he could neither live nor die. Taking advantage of the moment when the four saints were delayed by the killing skills, Lin Chen gritted his teeth and suddenly chewed a large amount of long qingguo in his mouth. Damn it, I'll do it! Smack! Lin Chen put on the war god gauntlet. Boom! 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 The invincible power of absolute invincibility instantly enveloped Lin Chen, and the power that emerged from the war god gauntlet was about to burst him. Bam! 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 Just releasing a wisp of aura was enough to shatter the earth and lift up the foundation on both sides. Countless obstacles were overturned. Lin Chen's body was golden, and his eyes were shining with the golden light of the war god, creating some illusions. It was as if he was wearing golden armor and had a divine cape on his shoulders. The top of his head was filled with golden divine light. The four saints were shocked. His pure strength aura instantly soared to 90 million, breaking through 100 million dragon power points, and it was still rising rapidly. At this moment, Lin Chen was faintly exuding an invincible aura that could destroy thousands of worlds. In Lin Chen's arm, the meridians, flesh and bones, everything became a dazzling golden color, releasing a divine power that could sink the sun and moon. It was as if a drop of blood could fill thousands of miles of mountains and rivers. Endless power exploded from his arm. This energy was the purest form of pure strength. It was many times stronger than Lin Chen's when he used the God Slayer, Sun God talent in the past. It was so powerful that it could destroy the space of the sacred boundary. The next moment, Lin Chen was immediately shaken until blood flowed out of his orifices. He swallowed and chewed the long qingguo crazily, and his expression was full of shock and fear. Oh no, am I going to be shaken to death by it? In the depths of the island of darkness, the slender and exquisite figure paused for a moment. Her beautiful smile revealed a hint of doubt. Her skin was as fair as jade, and her hair was tied up. She had a slender waist, and her perfect curves seemed to be about to burst out of her orange-red dress. She could be said to be an enchanting beauty. What a domineering power! Could it be that other than me, someone else has reached the island of darkness? But isn't he afraid of alarming the holy beast Taotai by displaying his power so brazenly? There must be something fun. Let's go and take a look. At a sword steel somewhere, a black robe swayed in the air and blood soaked his clothes. Even the breathing of the black-robed person was very disorderly. Violent panting sounds came from under the cloak. Accompanied by the rapid breathing, the round, jade-like figure in front of him trembled continuously, as if he had suffered an extremely serious injury. What a powerful swordsmanship! In the future, he will surpass the sword god of the human race. Lin Xingchen, this person may be the #1 source of trouble for our demonic tribe. Unless the main body comes out of seclusion, it will be difficult to suppress and kill this person. Retreat to the southern region of the sacred boundary first. My doppelganger still has important matters to attend to, so I can't die. The black-robed person tore through the void, escaped into the spatial crack, and disappeared. Chapter 934. At the edge of the island of darkness. Within the golden light gauntlet, an inextinguishable divine radiance instantly burst forth. 1,000 times, 5,000 times, 10,000 times, 50,000 times, 100,000 times, 200,000 times. Lin Chen was shocked to the core. It was too terrifying. The pure power in his body was still rising. It was more than a few 100 million dragon power points. It was so strong that it could break through the heavens. Rumble! The golden light of annihilation was like the reflection of the moon and the stars, crazily gushing out from Lin Chen's body. What's that? This brat's pure power seems to have evolved to the level of a tempered sage. The four saints, who were surrounded by 3 sure-kill techniques, were horrified. Something's not right. Get rid of these damn things and retreat, Ying Tianma shouted. He felt that his life was in danger from Lin Chen's body. He had never felt this kind of danger before, even from some of the more powerful third heaven true saints. Chi. A grayish-white talisman fell from the sky. It was almost 1,000 feet long, and it released an aura that could seal heaven and earth. Tianma's eyes widened and he shouted, "Be careful!" Bang! The moment the grayish-white talisman exploded, their bodies and the circulation of their saint power became extremely slow. The space became stagnant, and attacks that were weaker than sure-kill techniques were even more difficult. This was a level 6 slowing talisman that Lin Chun had used all his rune energy to create. One talisman to suppress 4 saints. However, there was not much time left. The current Lin Chun could not even protect himself. He could barely control the power that surged out of the God of War's gauntlet. It was like a wild horse, or more accurately, a dragon. No, I can't control it anymore. The situation this time is only slightly better than the previous time. Last time it was 5 seconds. This time, I'm afraid I'll explode and die from the power within 30 seconds. Lin Chun was burning with anxiety. He raised his right arm with difficulty, and even clenched his fist was difficult. Splat! Lin Chen's skin began to crack, and a large amount of blood sputtered out. Continuous activation of ultimate restoration. 1 intermediate talent point, 2 intermediate talent points. The ultimate convergence talent and Long Qingguo's energy were like rolling rivers and seas, frantically healing Lin Chen's injuries. Otherwise, it would be extremely difficult for Lin Chun to maintain his rationality at this moment. This feeling was like a berserk beast charging into his body, stirring up chaos and shattering. F***ck, let's fight. If I don't kill these bastards today, they'll still chase after me. System, activate absolute life and death. Consumed 39 intermediate talent points. Locked onto the enemy target and activated absolute life and death talent. As blood blurred his vision, Lin Chun aimed at Saint Incineration without a word and activated his absolute life and death talent. TSK. As soon as absolute life and death was activated, Lin Chen's entire body began to burn with orange flames. His life force began to drain away. However, his strength had greatly increased by dozens of times. Lin Chun exerted all his strength and blood kept spurting out from his body. His coin adornment crazily took out countless silver Saint Origin coins from the peach blossom plant pouch for Lin Chun to quickly refine, constantly increasing his energy. Ah! Lin Chun let out a hysterical roar and finally clenched his fist that was wearing the God of War gauntlet. It was as if he was holding hundreds of millions of dragons. This power was extremely difficult to control, but it was enough to destroy the world. Punch it out. If I punch it out, they're dead for sure. Lin Chun let out a roar that could burn everything. His body's strength gradually increased along with the absolute life and death talents characteristic. Lin Chun wanted to punch out with this world-destroying punch. The moment before he punched, Lin Chen's heart and battle chi source burst with a tearing pain. It was so painful that he sucked in a breath of cold air. I can't punch it out. If I punch it out, I'll definitely die. The God of War gauntlet's power is still increasing. If I use its full power, my body won't be able to withstand it. The explosive power will immediately shatter me. Lin Chen's thoughts were like lightning. Once again, he encountered a difficult problem. In this 1,000th of a second, his mind was thinking about many things. If he punched out, regardless of whether the 4 sages died or not, Lin Chun would definitely die. But what should I do? If I don't fight, I'll still die. I don't have the rune's energy to use the slowing rune again. The absolute life and death talent has also been activated. I have no way out. Fight. If I fight, I can even perish together with them. F***ck. I'll drag all of you down with me even if I die. Lin Chun was about to perish together with them when he saw his clenched fist and was shocked. A flash of light struck Lin Chun like a bolt of lightning. F***ck. I'm so F***king stupid. I don't have to use my fist. Crack. The 5 golden fingers of the god of war gauntlet loosened. Lin Chen grabbed his wrist with his left hand and pressed his thumb against his middle finger with difficulty, making a finger flick gesture. Endless dragon power gathered in his fingers, and the crystal walls in the space cracked inch by inch. At this moment, the 4 sages who were about to break free from the slowing rune felt their hair stand on end. A sense of impending doom emerged in their hearts. Die. Lin Chen was bathed in blood. He suddenly shouted and flicked his finger. Bang! A flash of golden light shot out from his golden fingertip, and the billions of dragon power that could shatter galaxies erupted. Rip! Boom! The terrifying pure power gathered at one point and exploded, sweeping through everything. Everything in front of Lin Chen was instantly annihilated into nothingness by a flash of golden light. The edge of the entire island was instantly torn into 2 halves. The crystal walls in the space cracked and split into 2, like a deep abyss that stretched across the sky. The sages didn't even have time to cry out before they turned into nothingness. Bang! Thousands of rays of golden light shot out from the end of the deep abyss. This finger tore the sky apart. This finger strike shattered the void. The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The power of this finger tore the island in front of Lin Chen into 2. Whoosh! A huge number of attribute light balls fell like flowers. Such a huge number of attribute points was the fall of a sage. The 4 sages from before died without leaving behind even a trace. The finger of the god of war destroyed the world. On the island of darkness, why do I feel an extraordinary sense of oppression on the island? All the sages frowned and looked at each other. Suddenly, there was a loud bang in the island of darkness. Rip! The sound of space being torn apart reverberated above the sea. A ray of golden light shot out from the island of darkness. It crushed everything in its way and destroyed everything in its path. This terrifying ray of golden light scared the sages guarding the island of darkness so much that their faces turned pale. The golden light disappeared, and the crystal walls in the space cracked into a shocking abyss. Boom, boom, boom. Under the crack in space, the surface of the sea sank. An endless crack appeared on the surface of the sea, splitting the entire sea into 2. What is this? What kind of attack is this? There is such a terrifying existence on the island of darkness? All the sages were horrified. If this ray of golden light hit them directly, they would definitely be dead. There is such a terrifying existence on the island of darkness? Could it be that the powerful person behind the Black Horse Club has made his move? All the sages felt a chill down their spines. Whoosh! At this moment, space fluctuated, and an extremely miserable figure fell out of the crack in space. He was stepping on a space roulette, and his body was covered in blood. His right arm was missing. It was the patriarch of the Dark Pavilion, Tianma. At the critical moment, he was the first to break free from the restraints of the slow rune. He used all the energy of the space sacred artifact to achieve a difficult space travel and escaped. Even so, he still paid the price of an arm and serious injuries all over his body. He was on the verge of death. Patriarch Ing? What is the situation? What happened inside? Could it be that an expert has been born? The sages quickly asked. Tianma's expression was extremely ugly. Blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. He gritted his teeth and said, "It's Lin Chen." All the sages' expressions changed again. Chapter 935. Seeing Tianma's injuries, the sages' faces were especially ugly and filled with disbelief. Lin Chen? He was just a combat emperor. How could he force the Dark Pavilion's patriarch to such a state? Elder Ing, where are Saint Fun and the rest? One of the saints asked in a trembling voice. Tianma said gloomily, "Dead?" The remaining 5 Sage Realm experts felt their scalps explode. Dead? Even the Shadow Demon Saints and Saint Fun of the Dark Pavilion had died? 4 saints besieged a combat emperor, and 3 of them died and 1 was severely injured? Such a strange thing had never happened in the 36 domains of the sacred boundary. The golden light from before appeared in their minds, and they shuddered. If they were hit by that golden divine light, it could indeed blast the saints into smithereens. Enchantment sat cross-legged with difficulty to heal his injuries and said gloomily, "Go in quickly. After that kid used his killer move, he shattered the mark I left on him. But now he's at his weakest. If we take him down now, we can get the ancient saint's inheritance." The 5 saints' mouths twitched. Damn it, did they want to die? This kid now had the ability to kill saints. Were they not courting death if they went in? My hidden pavilion has already lost 2 saints. Do you think I'll use the lives of my saints to trick you? We're only 1 step away. If he's swallowed by some ferocious beast, the ancient saint's inheritance will be gone. Enchantment sat cross-legged, and his saint power stabilized his injuries as he suddenly scolded coldly. His injuries were too severe, and he was already half a step into the gates of hell. If Lin Chun still had that strange attack that he couldn't dodge, then he would really die inside. The 5 saints hesitated. Damn it, is this the time to hesitate? That kid's secrets are not inferior to the ancient saint's inheritance. Don't you want the orange-grade battle technique and that godly skill? Enchantment was so angry that his teeth itched. The 5 saints were stunned. They thought of the Black Horse Club's godly skill that could split one into 5 and gritted their teeth. Let's do it now. We'll find him if we follow the direction of the space crack. Hurry up. Whoosh. Without further ado, the 5 saints rushed into the foggy Dark Island. Dark Island border region. Amazing, the absolutely beautiful girl who could charm all living things lightly covered her cherry lips, her beautiful eyes full of extraordinary splendor. She had personally witnessed the young man's shocking flick of the finger. With just a flick of his finger, he had killed 3 saints, and 1 of them had escaped. 3rd heaven, true saint realm? No, perhaps even a 4th stage martial artist might not be able to reach this level of power. Just relying on a flick of a finger. Too powerful. Who is this guy? The orange-robed man clicked his tongue in wonder. At this time, the cracked foundation split into 2. Lin Chen's body was dripping with blood as he fell to the ground. Among them was a 5-light supreme treasure chest and 3 orange treasure chests. Lin Chen felt dizzy. He didn't even have the strength to collect the attribute light balls. The war god bracers fell off and returned to their simple and unadorned state. The strange thing was that its golden light had dimmed a little. In the next moment, a strange suction force erupted from it, and it began to absorb the elemental light balls scattered in the void. Even the 5-light supreme treasure chest and the orange crystal treasure chest were absorbed by it. Lin Chen was almost angered to death. This thing was actually fighting with him for the elemental light balls. F***CKU, my attributes and treasure chests. Lin Chen was already an arrow at the end of its flight, and he was severely injured when he saw this scene. He was so angry that he fainted on the spot. Those were the elemental light balls dropped by the 3 saints. The war god bracers formed a vortex and absorbed the colorful elemental light balls. The light dimmed, and there was no change to its appearance. However, it increased in intensity by a notch. Little Dark Shadow scurried out of the peach blossom pouch and circled around Lin Chen worriedly. The purple lightning above its head condensed into a big question mark. In the next moment, Little Dark Shadow suddenly turned around and stared in a certain direction. It started to tremble. In the darkness, the young girl strode forward with her long, jade-like legs. Her orange robes were like flames as she walked towards Lin Chen and picked up his god of war bracers. Little Dark Shadow seemed to have sensed something and didn't dare to act rashly. The beautiful girl hesitated for a moment before gently putting on the war god bracers. She didn't find anything unusual. Hey, it's not a sacred artifact, nor is it a combat artifact. How can it have such terrifying lethality? The girl in orange played with it for a while and mumbled, "Boring, this is not interesting at all. Could it be some kind of sacred artifact that can only be used once?" Whoosh! Little Dark Shadow and the girl in orange looked into the distance at the same time, as if they sensed something. "A saint has entered the island of darkness. It must be this guy who provoked them. Where is he? Didn't Enchantment say that he was here? Why isn't there even a ghost?" The 5 saints were stunned when they arrived at the starting point of the dimensional rift. They released their sacred power to check the surroundings, but there was no sign of Lin Chen at all. There was only a large number of brutal direbeast auras. "What should we do? Should we retreat first? This kid is too strange." The 2 Sage Realm experts hesitated. They were already terrified of the golden light. Most people couldn't stay calm when facing a creature that could kill them instantly. Saints were no exception. "No, now is the best time." Suddenly, an old saint in blue spoke. According to Enchantment, this kid was already heavily injured when he used his killer move. "I don't think he can use such a powerful trump card a second time in such a short time." The blue-robed old man said meaningfully, "This child has too many secrets. Even if he just casually grasps one of them, he would be able to break through his current bottleneck. Now that the hidden pavilion is heavily damaged and the other saints are tied down, if we take Lin Chen and then turn around to finding Tianma, everyone should understand what I mean." His words enlightened the other 4 saints. That was right. If they could take down Lin Chen now, they would have the chance to take all of Lin Chen's secrets for themselves. Because the secret pavilion, which involved all the forces, had been heavily damaged. The Shadow Demon twin saints had fallen, and Ying Tianma was severely injured. In addition, Lin Chen's secrets were more than the ancient saint's inheritance as originally planned. It was worth the risk. "But what if there is a powerful force behind the Black Horse Club?" another saint said worriedly. "They have been forced to this extent, and the Black Horse Club's backer still hasn't shown up. There are only 2 possibilities. Either they don't have a backer at all, or they can't come because of certain conditions." The old man in blue laughed sinisterly. "Everyone, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We don't have time to think about it now." The saints looked at each other and nodded seriously. "Join forces. Take away Lin Chen and deal with the secret pavilion." The 5 saints each had their own ulterior motive. They entered the dark island and carefully searched for Lin Chen's traces in the vast island. 15 minutes after the 5 saints left, 2 more figures appeared in a flash and stepped into the void. Chapter 936. The edge of the island has been split in half. The crystal walls of Dark Island have actually been torn apart. How is this possible? Even a 3rd Heaven True Saint wouldn't possess such destructive power. The man and woman's aura were actually at the True Saint realm. The rich lady's eyes were sharp, and her eyebrows raised slightly. Could it be that someone has snuck into Dark Island? Who is so bold? Or did someone discover my transaction? 2 days later. During this period of dizziness, Lin Chen felt as though his entire body was being torn apart. His bones, meridians, blood, and flesh felt as though they were being torn apart time and time again. However, there seemed to be pieces of long kingwo meat being pushed into Lin Chen's mouth every time, causing his vitality to recover at an astonishing speed. In addition, Lin Chen had consumed a large amount of long kingwo before this. His physique was strong, and his vitality was extremely tenacious. In 2 days, his injuries had healed by a lot. "Where am I?" Lin Chen opened his eyes with difficulty. The first thing he remembered was the attribute light ball, the 5 light treasure chest, and the orange crystal treasure chest that he had missed. He cursed on the spot. F***CK. My attribute points and treasure chests. Lin Chen shouted agitatedly. Just as he was about to get up, he sucked in a breath of cold air from the pain. Lin Chen scanned the area with his spiritual consciousness and discovered that his surroundings were cold and desolate. He was in the middle of a valley. You're finally awake. What kind of treasure chest were you talking about? The young lady sat at the edge of the cliff, biting into a berry with her white teeth and swinging her snow-white legs. The moment he saw the young lady, Lin Chen's first impression was one of amazement. So stunned that Lin Chen was stunned for a moment. He had seen many beauties. The peerless Bai Ruoyan, the icy Ling Yueqi, the elegant Ning Qingxian, the gentle Yun Manqing, the refined Shangguan Bihan, the eccentric Yu Linlin, the dreamy Yan Qianyun, and so on. But he had never seen a beauty like the girl in front of him. She had a fiery and explosive devilish figure and a beautiful young girl's face. However, the temperament between her brows was charming and mature. When she looked around, she could use her gaze to make a man surrender. She was like a young girl with a face that was beautiful and pure like an angel, yet she had a devilish figure that caused others to be unable to take their eyes off her. Every single smile and frown of hers emitted an aura of charm that could turn all living things upside down, and she was enchanting to the extreme. What a beautiful demon! Almost everyone's first impression of this woman, including Lin Chen, was that of a vixen. The next moment, Lin Fan's pupils shrank. This was because he saw that the seductive little demon girl was still playing with his god of war gauntlet. Wu Wu, Little Shadow came out of the peach blossom plant pouch and rubbed against Lin Chen. The corner of Lin Chen's mouth twitched, and he scolded Little Shadow telepathically, "Why didn't you take my things back, you disappointing fellow?" Little Shadow felt wronged, and purple lightning gathered on top of his head. "Because she's really too fierce and too big." Lin Chen was stunned. He propped himself up with one hand and leaned against the cliff. He looked at the young girl with a righteous gaze, and her orange dress was about to burst. The corner of his mouth twitched. Who can withstand this? Hey Lin Chen, what exactly is this thing of yours? It can even kill a saint, but why can't I see what material it is made of? The girl in orange was puzzled. Lin Chen was shocked. You know me? The girl raised her eyebrows. Isn't it written on your gold roll? Genius roll, Lin Chen. Lin Chen covered his chest and pursed his lips. You actually touched me. I hid that roll in my pants. You have to take responsibility. Whoosh. The girl's figure flashed, and her slender fingers lifted Lin Chen's chin. She smiled seductively and said, "How should I take responsibility?" Lin Chen cursed inwardly and grinned. "Return my treasure to me first. It's useless to you even if you want it." The girl waved her Aries wristband and shook it. She said with a half-smile, "I really like your big treasure. If you want to take it back, you have to do me a favor. After it's done, I'll return it to you." Lin Chen was stunned. Big treasure? Heya, he was the only one who teased others. Today was the first time he was teased by a girl. What kind of favor? Why don't you return my treasure to me first? Let's do it another day. You can look for me again after you've thought it through. The girl smiled. I've already thought it through. Your body's current condition can't be changed. Let's do it today. Lin Chen, what kind of favor do I have to help you with today? The girl, go to the depths of Dark Island and find some fun and treasures. Lin Chen swallowed his saliva. How deep? I don't have any special skills. This is my special skill. The girl smiled. Then we'll have to see if you can hold on while growing up, because I need the help of your little shadow. This little guy will only listen to your orders. After this, I'll return your specialty treasure to you. How about it? Lin Chen pondered for a moment. Okay, it's a deal. Also, the girl, Lin Chen, you're so flirtatious? The girl blinked and smiled. Same here. The saints looking for you have already entered Dark Island. You have to hurry up and recover. A man has to be tough enough to be a real man. 12 hours later, Lin Chen took another 20 long Qingguo and activated his ultimate recovery talent 7 times in a row. After that, his injuries were completely healed. The girl sized up Lin Chen as if she had discovered a new species. She clicked her tongue in wonder. You're really a monster. Although you have long Qingguo, you can still recover from such injuries in such a short time. The girl knew the state Lin Chen was in when she first found him. Half of his meridians were broken, all his bones were broken, and his internal organs were severely injured. He was in a terrible state. If an ordinary genius was injured like Lin Chen's, they would have to rest for at least a few months or even half a year before they could get out of bed if they didn't want their future talents to be affected. Lin Chen was very lucky to have survived after using the God of War bracers. If it weren't for the ultimate recovery talent that could heal his injuries quickly, the large amount of Long Qingguo that could heal his injuries, the absolute life and death that could increase his strength, and the large amount of Silver Saint origin coins that could increase his battle aura, without any of the above factors, he wouldn't have been able to last 30 seconds wearing the God of War bracers. Now that I think about it, I'm still a bit scared. I really did walk through the gates of hell. Fortunately, I didn't punch them out. Instead, I used a flick. Lin Chen heaved a sigh of relief, but he was looking forward to it. With the God of War bracers, he could kill 3 saints with a flick of his finger. What if he could completely control it? The most important thing now was to get the God of War bracers back from the girl. This girl gave Lin Chen a vague sense of danger. Lin Chen couldn't see through her. The fact that she dared to enter the dark island alone was enough to prove her strength. He couldn't take her by force. Sigh, what a pity for my attribute points. Lin Chen felt that it was a pity. He opened the system with a thought. The next moment, the system screen made Lin Chen's jaw drop. It was as if he had seen a ghost. Host has opened the 5 Light Supreme Treasure Chest. You have received the seed of a low-grade plant of providence, pure gold seed. What the F***? The seed of a plant of providence. Chapter 937. Low-grade plant of luck seed. Obtaining the 3rd plant of luck seed meant that he could begin to learn the ancient sage's odd crystal nurturing secret technique. Lin Chen was ecstatic. Could it be that the war god's wristband didn't absorb my attribute light balls? Lin Chen quickly opened the system and blurted out with a dark face, "Damn." Heaven Path Attribute Pickup System version 6.0 Host. Lin Chen, Cultivation. 2nd Tribulation Combat Emperor. Advanced Essence, 399,500 points. Limit Strength, 40 million Dragon Power. Advanced Health, 438,566 points. Advanced Spirit Attribute, 74 points. Heaven Ascension Peak. Advanced Cultivation Method Essence, 2,570 points. Advanced Rune Energy, 100 points. Intermediate Heaven Path Points, 3,625 points. Intermediate Talent Points, 110 points. Blank Attribute, 1.03 million points. Strengthening Points, 3.84 million points. Advanced Elemental Energy, 89 points for Fire, 63 points for Earth, 60 points for Wood, 78 points for Metal, 88 points for Water, 79 points for Lightning, 75 points for Wind, 54 points for Light, 81 points for Darkness. Cultivation Method Status Column, Open or Not. Bloodline Status Column, Open or Not. Passive Talent Column, Open or Not. Fatal Skill Column, Open or Not. Active Talent. Purple Rank, Stealing Omen. Purple Rank, Fatal Bloodthirst. Purple Rank, Super-Dimensional Teleportation. Purple Rank, Ultimate Moment. Purple Rank, Ultimate Return. Purple Rank, Sovereign's Descent. Quasi-Orange Rank, Absolute Life and Death Cooldown, 3 days. Orange Rank, Instant Light Split Shadow. Orange Rank, 1 time. God Slayer, Orange Rank 1 time. Heaven Defying, 1/2. Fragment Characteristic Rune Column, Open or Not. Talent Combination Skill, Open or Not. Other than the growth attribute value that had soared, the other attribute values had decreased by a large amount. especially the rune energy. If not for opening an orange crystal treasure chest, there wouldn't be any left. Damn, it seems that the war god's wristband only didn't absorb the attribute treasure chest and took all the attribute light balls. What the hell is this thing? It's not a sacred weapon or a divine weapon, yet it snatched the attribute light balls from me. Lin Chun gritted his teeth. Snatched attribute light balls? He didn't even dare to think about it in the past. If I can absorb the attribute light balls dropped by the Sage Realm experts, I might be able to break through to the 4th Tribulation Combat Emperor realm. That would be a loss of more than 100 million. Wait a minute. Lin Chun suddenly thought of something. He opened the treasure bar and found an item. Upgrade key. When Lin Chun obtained the heaven-defying talent fragment, he also obtained an upgrade key. Do you want to use the upgrade key? Use. Activating the upgrade key and activating the upgrade function. Host must fulfill the following conditions in order to upgrade a portion of the system's functions. 3 million strengthening points, 5,000 advanced cultivation technique soul essences, 6,000 intermediate heavens path points. Collect enough attribute points to upgrade system's strengthening function, increasing the strengthening limit to plus 15. Lin Chun sucked in a sharp breath. Upgrade the strengthening function? Up to plus 15? This was King ridiculous. The plus 13 calamities of creation had already caused Lin Chun to undergo a qualitative transformation. The overall power of his mental cultivation method had increased by 240%. How much would plus 15 increase? Even if the strengthening effect of plus 13 increased by 70% for each level, plus 15 would at least increase the power to 380%. Putting myself in a desperate situation and fighting to survive, this is considered a blessing in disguise. I can collect more attribute points, but I only have one life. When Lin Chun was going through the heavenly tribulation, he had attacked many Sage Realm experts and triggered the tearing talent. The elemental attribute points he obtained from injuring Sage Realm experts had almost doubled. Coupled with the fact that his cultivation had broken through 2 realms, the current Lin Chun was extremely powerful. He could even wrestle with the experts above the 4th Tribulation Combat Emperor realm, which he had found difficult to deal with in the past. Lin Chun opened the peach blossom seed pouch and planted the new pure gold seed tree. Without the Tiani holy water, Lin Chun could only use a dozen golden Saint Origin coins and a large amount of silver Saint Origin coins to cultivate the pure gold seed tree. Lin Chun now had 3,700,000 silver Saint Origin coins, 194 Longqingguo coins, and 145 golden Saint Origin coins left. He had used up a lot of resources for various emergencies such as recovering Little Shadow and breaking through. However, Lin Chun didn't have to worry about that for now. The 2 spiritual plants of providence that had reached their peak would produce more than 2 million silver Saint Origin coins a day. This was the foundation of a spiritual plant of providence at its peak. A low-grade spiritual plant of providence could support an entire 2nd-grade sect, and 2 of them could support a 4th-grade sect. Lin Chun had 2 spiritual plants of providence to himself. To put it bluntly, his wealth was at the top of the genius ranking. Hey, a Sage Realm expert is approaching us. The girl turned her head and looked at Lin Chun. No problem. Let's go. Lin Chun activated the innate shadow art and disappeared into the darkness. The girl was surprised. Then, she activated her innate shadow art and the 2 of them quickly left. Little Shadow returned to Lin Chun's peach blossom seed pouch to continue recuperating while the 2 of them left the valley. What do you want me to help you with? Lin Chun asked seriously as the 2 of them moved stealthily. He didn't release his doppelganger. It might be more convenient if he used his doppelganger, but he wanted to keep his trump card and hide himself. This was a special situation. He only had 100 rune energy, and he didn't have any killing moves. Lin Chen didn't have any means to fight a sage, so he had to be careful. I want you to go to the deepest part of Dark Island with me. There are more than 2 sage beasts living here. We have to pass through the territory of one sage beast and reach the territory of the other sage beast. Then, we have to steal something. The girl unfolded a scroll. There were vivid phoenix patterns on it. It was a phoenix feather. This item is called the immortal phoenix feather. It has fallen into the hands of the sacred beast on the island of darkness. I need your Umbra to sneak into the void to steal this item, because even ordinary saints cannot tear the space on the island of darkness apart. However, your Umbra has the innate aptitude of Umbra, so it can still travel through the void in the spatial crystal wall of the island of darkness. Originally, I was going to try to sneak into its territory. With your help, the success rate might increase. If we're discovered, I'll take action and delay the sage beast. It depends on whether you can sneak in or not. Lin Chen took the scroll. The charm of the immortal phoenix feather made his true flame purple phoenix bloodline throb. No problem. Once you're done, you can return my wrist guard to me. Lin Chen nodded. This girl seemed to know Dark Island very well. Lin Chen had to rely on her now. There were already sages on Dark Island. There might be sages guarding outside. Now was not the time to leave Dark Island. Right, what's your name? Lin Chen asked. The girl parted her hair and smiled. TSK. My name doesn't matter. You can call me whatever you like. Lin Chen was startled. Then, he teased, you call that a treasure? The girl giggled. Whatever you like. After saying that, she winked at him. Lin Chen called her a vixen in his heart. The two of them quickly went deep into Dark Island. Chapter 938. Outside the White Frost City, the chaotic battle between the Sage Realm experts lasted for half a day. Then, 2 auras descended with a loud bang and broke the momentum of the chaotic battle between the Sage Realm experts. One of the golden-robed men exuded a baleful aura as he berated, "Where is Lin Chen? He is Lian Wanjin of the 4th Grade Chamber of Commerce. That guy really came quickly. For his son, he didn't even care about his business. This isn't his greedy personality." The saints on both sides separated. Some were surprised and some frowned. The other saint had a sharp gaze and a domineering aura. He carried a saint's sword and coldly looked at all the saints present. The sword aura he emitted was so strong that it made the saints from the Ice Heart Palace turn serious. This was a powerful sword cultivator not inferior to the Thunder Sword Saint. A true saint of the sword. President Wanjin, that little bastard Lin Chen, has been chased to Dark Island by the ancestor of the Dark Pavilion, Ing Tianma. These are all Lin Chen's accomplices. Could this be the nominal elder of the Extreme Heaven Pavilion, Qin Clan's Sword Saint Qin Jintian? Saint Imoqin cupped his fists and asked politely. Sword Saint glanced at him and coldly said, "That brat dared to hurt Xiaotian. I will destroy his Black Horse Club." Where did the rest of the Black Horse Club go? The others have already disappeared. However, they are most likely in that brat's destiny plant pouch. The geniuses of the Black Horse Club have not appeared since he went into seclusion. Qin Jintian frowned and looked down at the saint. His 5 fingers tore through the void as he stepped on a sword light and left in the direction of Dark Island. Lian Wanjin followed closely behind, and even more Sage Realm experts gathered towards Dark Island. Outside Dark Island, fog lingered and illusions appeared. It was a strange island that ordinary creatures could not enter. 3 people walked out from a spatial crack located at the periphery of the spatial crack. 2 old men and 1 young woman, 1 old man and 1 old woman. The last one was a beautiful and dreamy woman. She was none other than Yan Qianyun. I really can't persuade you. However, let me say this first. We can only act according to the situation. We might not be able to help that brat. The old woman lectured Yan Qianyun with a doting and somewhat reproachful tone. The white-robed old man stroked his beard and said, "We have always been neutral. Once we act, it will affect the forces behind us. Little Yun don't have high expectations of us. Elders, please allow Qianyun to be willful. This time, I really don't want anything to happen to him," Yan Qianyun begged. The two old men sighed helplessly and waved their hands, blocking the heavenly secrets. When the two elders attacked, even Ing Tianma did not sense the existence of the three. This kid's fate is truly void. Even I can't divine his location on Island of Darkness. What? That old ghost ghosting Tianma is actually heavily injured? What's going on? Who has the ability to injure him? The old heavens sex elders looked. Wanjin's a day. In the gloomy mountain range of the Island of Darkness, there was an exquisite palace that looked like it was made of precious stones. A shadow quietly sneaked out of the darkness. Lin Chen's body was flowing with dark calamity battle chi, perfectly concealing his own aura. The little demon girl was wearing a hazy gauze that was as thin as a cicada's wings, but it completely concealed her aura. It was not inferior to Lin Chen's innate shadow art. Lin Chen clicked his tongue in wonder. The two of them sneaked into the palace. Lin Chen's innate shadow art seemed to be of the same origin as the Shadow Clan. Although it couldn't travel through the void, it could perfectly conceal one's aura. Apart from Ing Tianma's special methods, most Saint Realm experts couldn't see through this secret technique. System: I want to learn the 8th transformation of Azura 9 Brilliance transformations, consuming 13 advanced technique soul essences. Beginning to fuse cultivation memories into doppelganger. Lin Chen activated the system to learn the 8th transformation that he had obtained from the conference. Unlike before, the 9 brilliance transformations that Lin Chen had obtained before were all incomplete. Although the order of each transformation was correct, there were always some details and essences missing. This caused the secret technique itself to be incomplete, causing Lin Chen to enter a severely weakened state. Although Lin Chen relied on his strong physique and life force to overcome this weakness, the flaw still existed. However, the Azura 9 Brilliance transformations he had obtained from the Great Assembly perfectly recorded the essences of the first layer transformations to the 8th layer transformations. If Lin Chen were to use the 8th layer transformations in the future, there would be no flaws, and his power would rise to another level. Lin Chen was once again amazed by the power of the level 6 illusory rune. All the cultivation memories were given to his doppelganger to fuse and absorb. He could do more on his own. It was a kind of cheating exhilarating. There was a powerful spatial enchantment behind the palace. Even a saint couldn't forcefully open it. The only way was to enter through the palace. The two of them went deep into the palace without alerting any ferocious beast. Lin Chen and the little demon girl ran all the way to the highest window of the palace. When they looked through the window into the palace, Lin Chen was surprised to see that there were many young humans in the palace. What was even more mysterious was that some of these humans were on the genius rankings. Their aptitudes were extraordinary. Their hands and feet were shackled with special materials, as if they had become the maids and servants of this place. This time, as long as we pass through the palace, we can sneak into the depths of Dark Island. The little demon girl giggled at Lin Chen. This is the territory of the holy Taotai beast that lives on Dark Island. It loves to devour human geniuses and raise humans in captivity. I heard that it occasionally holds competitions where humans hunt each other. It's extremely disgusting. The little demon girl pointed at a seductive young woman in the hall. She was dressed in revealing clothes, had a beautiful face, and a hot body. The only flaw was that her mouth was too big. When she smiled, the gap between her lips extended to her cheeks, making her look eerie and strange. Her opponent was a human Saint Realm expert. At this moment, the two of them were talking. Lin Chen and the little demon girl could hear their conversation by slightly activating their battle chi. Xiao Qing, A saint has sneaked into the island this time. Don't tell me you brought them here? It was the young Tautai woman's voice. Madam, we've been doing business for so many years. Don't you trust my reputation? The green shirt saint laughed. Humph. If you dare to play dirty, I'll be the first to swallow you. The young Tautai woman frowned and warned. Then, she asked, where are my goods? How's the harvest this time? Hee, the harvest is not bad. This time, we've kidnapped a large group of geniuses. There's a boy you like and a female genius who likes to eat. While the two of them were talking, the little demon girl nodded at Lin Chen. This is a good opportunity. Let's sneak behind the palace while they're talking. No problem. Lin Chen nodded. He was not a merciful person. Now that he could not even save himself, he did not plan to save the humans in the palace. Just as Lin Chen was about to take a detour and leave, the conversation in the hall caused him to freeze. I heard that Madam was paying attention to the female geniuses on the genius ranking a few years ago. I specially abducted 2 girls on the genius ranking, Qin Juyan and Qin Miao from the Qin family. You should have heard of their names. One is hot and the other is gentle. I guarantee that Madam will be satisfied. While the green shirt saint was talking cheerfully, Lin Chen froze on the spot. Qin Miao and Qin Juyan? They were abducted and sold here. Chapter 939. I spent a lot of effort on these 2 girls. They're both pure-blooded virgins. Madam, you'll like them. The green shirt saint waved his hand, and 2 balls of holy light appeared. The 2 beauties were inside the balls of holy light. This holy power can only protect them for a while. It's a life-saving measure left behind by the saint of their family. However, with Madam's means, it shouldn't last for more than 3 days. You'll be able to melt it, and then the people inside will be at your mercy. The green shirt saint smiled. The Tautai woman's eyes lit up. Yes. As expected, your aptitude and physique are excellent. 1 fire and 1 water, very good. You didn't let me down. The 2 girls glared at him, but more than that, they were scared and trembling. When the holy light dissipated, they would die. Even the 2 girls didn't expect that they would encounter the infamous green shadow stealer, Qi Faming, on their way to the conference of the 4 powers. This person had stolen treasures from many sects and was wanted by many forces. They didn't expect that he would even kidnap and sell people. Although they activated their family's Blue Sea Holy Light shield in a hurry, they couldn't resist the Saint Realm Qi Faming and were kidnapped. So the news released at the end of the conference of the 4 powers was true. These 2 sisters were kidnapped and sold here. Lin Chen frowned. To save them or not to save them? In the current situation, Lin Chen couldn't save them at all. Moreover, he had almost used up all his means and trump cards to fight against the saint. Even now, Lin Chen's strength had skyrocketed. He still couldn't resist the saint realm. These were 2 completely different levels of living beings. However, if he didn't save them, Lin Chen's heart would be filled with demons. The obstacles of cultivation were far more than the bottleneck of cultivation. Lin Chen had always followed his heart, so even if he failed, he had never encountered any demons in his heart. To be honest, he and the sisters had met by chance and didn't have a deep relationship. Lin Chen wasn't someone who couldn't move when he saw a few beauties. However, when the 2 girls were in the ancient sacred palace, when all the geniuses and prodigies were pointing at him, they risked their lives to stand on his side. What's wrong? This is a good chance to rush through the palace. Shui Mining was puzzled. Lin Chen exhaled. His eyes became especially sharp as he said seriously, "No, I have to save them before I leave." The little demoness was stunned. She looked into the hall, her beautiful eyes rippling as she smiled charmingly. "I didn't expect you to like this type. Which one of the sisters do you fancy?" "They are friends with me. If they leave just like that, I won't be able to let them go." Lin Chen shook his head. Shui Mining's reaction was beyond his expectations. "If you want to save him, then go ahead. But let me say this first, you are the one who caused this trouble. I won't do anything, you only have 2 days at most. We still have to hurry on with our journey. Shui Mining's answer surprised Lin Chen. Aren't you afraid that I'll affect your whereabouts? What are you afraid of? Great risks are often accompanied by great benefit. If you save them, I'll go find some other entertainment. That's a deal. We'll run away after we've saved them in 2 days. After completing the transaction, Qi Feiming left behind 190 fearful young geniuses and the Qin sisters. After swallowing you, my sacred Taotai heart will be able to improve further. The young Taotai woman opened her mouth and flicked out her scarlet tongue. With a swoosh, she swept up 10 young geniuses and swallowed them. She was still not satisfied. This batch of goods is great. But the main dish is more important. I'll put them on the smelting altar and refine them well. I'll come back and eat you later. After the young Taotai woman swept away the 2 sisters, the remaining young geniuses were shocked. They wanted to run away, but their battle chis were sealed so tightly that they couldn't even fly. Lin Chen transformed into a shadow and moved stealthily. The young Taotai woman brought the Qin sisters to the 9th floor underground. Lin Chen followed behind her. There was actually another world below the palace. A red altar that was hundreds of feet tall was placed here. The 2 sisters were brought into the altar. Lin Chen was secretly shocked. There's actually a natural spatial barrier here. What a cunning saint beast. If I had rashly approached just now, I'm afraid I would have triggered a reaction from the spatial barrier and exposed myself instantly. Qi. The altar was ignited and a red fire began to burn fiercely from the surface of the altar. The holy light barrier of the 2 girls gradually softened and disintegrated. There's no need for 3 days. In less than 12 hours, the holy light protecting you will be refined into nothingness by me. Little babies, none of you will be able to escape. The young Taotai woman opened her mouth and laughed wildly. The 2 girls' expressions changed drastically. They were at a loss. Let's go back and eat those little guys first. I've already endured for a long time. I can't endure any longer. My body is about to break down. The young Taotai woman left while drooling. She left the 9th floor underground and allowed the red flames on the altar to burn fiercely. This flame was very mysterious. Rather than calling it a flame, it was more like a special energy that burned at high speed. It was absorbing the Saint Qi, protecting the 2 girls. Lin Chen's eyes lit up. The flames of the red altar were actually filled with a bunch of red attribute bubbles. They were all special attribute values. Sister, are we really going to die here? Qin Juyan's heart trembled and her beautiful face turned pale. Qin Miao gritted her teeth and held her sister's jade-like hand. Little Shadow should be able to pass through this spatial barrier, but saving the 2 sisters on the altar will alarm that Taotai. We have to lure her away. But, after luring her away, how can we ensure that she won't return in a short period of time? While Lin Chen was deep in thought, he suddenly slapped his thigh. Isn't there a ready-made saint stage cultivator entering the Dark Island? Damn it, as long as it's a female, I don't believe that my handsome Black Horse Club can't deal with her. Let's arrange a honey trap. In a spacious secret room in the palace, a group of young and handsome youths fell to the ground, foaming at the mouth and twitching all over. The corner of the young Taotai woman's mouth was full of blood. She slapped the unconscious youth on the bed and cursed, "Useless thing." The young woman looked around the secret room. There was no one else who could fight. The ruthlessness that was carved into her bones appeared on her expression again. Her breathing began to become rapid and heavy. "Madam, you are so thirsty. I am so anxious." The young man pushed open the door and entered with a smile on his face. His face was delicate and pretty, like a jade crown. He looked like a jade-faced scholar who didn't have the strength to truss a chicken. This young man had a delicate and pretty appearance, but his figure was tall and straight. He had an imposing appearance, gentle and refined, but he didn't lose his wildness. The eyes of the young Tautai woman, who was breathing heavily, lit up. Who are you? You actually have the aura of the Dragon King's heaven-raising spear. Are you a dragon? Come here. The young Tautai woman, whose rationality had been blinded by desire, didn't even care about the origins of this young man. She grabbed him and sucked him over. This young man was naturally Lin Chen's clone. However, he had revealed his true appearance. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.